Hello there, this is Reece Russell, and you're watching the Weekly Steelchair.
It's my life in the box in front of me. Taking talk in my arms is the soul of me. You walk by, ask to see me laying face down.
What's up, everybody? How are we? Eilidh should be with us soon. Good to see you all. Just let me know how things look on screen, but welcome to the Weekly Steelchair. Zach, you never feel disappointed when it comes to these national days. You never do, mate. You never fail. You're just my national guy. That's what you are. It's good to hear that you're all doing well. Of course, yes, we are obviously going to be talking Dynamite. Well, Dynamite Collision, 3 hours. Well, it's just 3 hours AEW, more or less. We'll be doing that tonight, but we'll do that after we've got through a different conversation, and that'll be part of the show tonight. So before we even get to that, we'll just, whilst we're waiting for Eilidh, I'm not going to touch the Dynamite review. So if you want to talk about it, do so on your own wish, but I won't be talking about it until we've done the first half of the show. So that's a reality. So I'll simply answer any questions, but I'm not gonna discuss the review until I get there. I do have some gripes with this Dynamite. I'm not gonna lie, there's a lot of mistakes. This could have been a perfect, I'm gonna say this now, this could have been the perfect go home show. But it wasn't. I'm not going to glaze this. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sit on here and say this show was perfect, because it definitely wasn't. So please don't ask me to do that. I'm not going to. There's some positives and negatives to this show, but there's some things I actually really liked, and there's some things where I'm like, could we have done better? For sure. I am going to tell you now that I am going to call out 3 people right now for making it so easy to criticize this Dynamite. Bryan Danielson, Tony Schiavone, and Excalibur. Does anyone want to hazard a guess why? And don't worry, I'm not reviewing it, but does anyone want to guess why? And don't worry, it's not a trick question. If it was, I would make magic out my hands. That's for damn sure. Bland would be an understatement. But we'll get to that later, because that's the second half of the show. The first half is not my idea, which I'm actually kind of glad with for a change, because I'm sick of coming up with good ideas. So this is actually her idea.
Hello! I'm
What's
actually
up?
on camera, in case folk were forgetting that I'm not just a static image. How are we getting on?
People thought you were just an AI at this rate. You
Yeah,
could be
well,
co-pilot with long hair.
yeah, Ail's eye. It's right there, isn't it?
I quite like
Yeah.
that. You should actually.
No, how are you getting on?
Not too bad, actually. James saying hello. I actually quite
right,
like the sound of that. Ail's AI sounds quite good.
Could be a thing. No, I just want to let you know, for legal purposes, completely sober. Definitely nothing in here.
Do as much
Yeah,
drinking as you want.
we're here to have a good time. And I wanted to talk about something.
You said
how am I keeping? Horribly. But I'm here. Do I still have the I thought I had the medication in my pocket. I'm on amitriptyline.
Oh,
That's the latest medication they've given me. We've
fucking
gone through
What's next?
diazepam, we've gone through gabapentin, we've gone through naproxen. They're trying all the pills.
They've not gave you concodamol yet, have they?
Yeah, they tried, but that's weaker than naproxen, so I just kept taking naproxen instead.
Oh God Almighty!
Concodamol is also something you can buy, so when they gave me it, I didn't really take it seriously.
Exactly. Why should you? Why
Yeah,
should
it was
you?
just like, you might as well hand me paracetamol or like Lemsip. I can buy that.
I'm the same, honestly. Chest out
Yeah, all right, folks.
Google's doing that fucking weird thing again, where it's reverted back to everybody's at instead of how they actually want to show their names. So it's shown as the ats for some reason again. I don't know.
That's
why
all right.
they're doing
Tonight you are all handles, and we're
Yes.
going to handle some business. The thought occurred to me, and to be honest, thought I've had for a while, but the thought really hit this week with the Seth Rollins injury. Now, do bear with me, because the other thing I'm going to do is beside me, I'm going to have the laptop open, and that's just to keep myself right when we discuss this, because I wanted to take the time to basically talk about how wrestling is in trouble. Certainly on the sort of grander scale, but then this is going to affect the entire industry.
Of course. With that, I'm gonna do one thing just for you. Hold on. Hold on. 2 seconds. Stupid one. Fucking stupid.
Gonna do one thing just for you. I'm gonna remove your face entirely.
I hit the wrong. I hit the wrong option. I apologize. It's only fair.
Sorry.
It's only fair, folks. This is genuinely Eilidh's topic. She messaged me this afternoon, and I was actually really intrigued. So it's only fair that I give Eilidh 80% of the screen size.
Yeah. So tonight's discussion, and don't worry, you don't have to keep it like that. I know people can admire everything that's going on. For as long as they like, but you don't have to stick to this. But basically,
I think so, Chester, because another thing that's got my concern is it'll be a way to get rid of fake bots, because obviously there's a lot of YouTubers. I really don't know why they do this. Actually, never mind. I've figured that out. That's a stupid thing. There's a lot of YouTubers that buy views, they buy subscribers, so they can be shown as enough over the threshold to monetize. Now we actually we're
at all 400 plus of you.
418.
You're real.
Yeah, we are.
We love you all.
If we get another 82 and we hit 500, we've already hit the watch hours. We did the watch hours 2 months ago. If we actually hit the 500 subscribers, we will actually be eligible for monetization on the Steelchair. If we choose to, of course.
Yeah, well, if we choose to take this more seriously. But yeah, so the idea of tonight is basically everyone is getting old.
As I say that with a nice beard.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Is everyone's getting old. You're getting older. I'm getting older. We're all getting older, and so are our favorite wrestlers. And it's time to discuss.
Yeah,
I think, and there's two ways to look at this. One is to look at the past when this has happened before, and the other is to talk about what's different now, because obviously, there were stars of the past that we now don't see. Look at your Attitude Era. It's basically totally gone.
It is. I can stand by that. Leave the hoodie on. Shut up, Maria. I had to take it off. It was getting very warm.
But not only are all those stars gone, they're not actually gone because WWE keeps bringing them back. And we're at the point now, this year, 2025, where the Ruthless Aggression era is now in the state that the Attitude Era was 10 years ago.
It's on its last
where
legs.
all those names have left. I mean, I would probably even say 15 years ago, where all those names have left. And wrestling as a whole doesn't know what to do. Now, Seth Rollins got injured this week. Does anyone know, Reece, do you know off the top of your head, how old is Seth Rollins?
37.
Seth Rollins, double checking. So he was born in 1986. He is 39 years old. And if
Not
he's
far
injured
off.
now,
I actually didn't know his
that's
age.
a proper injury. he
Glenn's
could
63.
He could be 40 when he's back. So
Possibly,
we talk
yeah.
about the top level of wrestling and how most guys are going to lose it about their mid-40s. Some will get to the late 40s. Your odd exception gets to 50s. And I don't mean before they die, I just mean before they retire.
Yeah, of course.
Thankfully, healthcare is generally better now that it tends to be retirement, thankfully.
Yeah, absolutely.
But what that means is we could very well be looking at a WWE in 2030 that doesn't have Seth Rollins, doesn't have the now 40-year-old Cody Rhodes, who is the heir to John Cena, who we definitely won't have. AJ Styles has announced his retirement. Rey Mysterio is not going to last forever. Triple H is obviously done. The Hardys are on their very last leg.
They are, yeah.
You know, the Dudleys not really ruthless aggression, but they're done.
They were attitude era.
Yeah.
Still,
Edge, probably a year or two. Christian,
I think
same.
Christian's got another. I think depending on his neck, I would say another 2 years.
So what I mean is by 2030,
obviously it was a neck injury, and obviously he came back out.
Yeah. By 2030, though, think about all the names that will have left the business, at least on a regular basis.
You're forgetting another one as well. You're forgetting another one.
I probably haven't run through like all of them. But which other names?
No, I was expecting. I don't care about this man, but I'm surprised you didn't say Roman Reigns.
Well, Roman Reigns, not only is he not as young as he appears, but he's also going into movies. So if that glow, by the way,
he's still a potential reality.
Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns
said he was going to go part time after his title reign, and he too is 40.
I suppose he's living up to his word.
Yeah. So he's 40, Cody's 40, Seth's 39.
Yeah.
All the other guys that I've mentioned are like mid 40s to late 40s, and some are already in their 50s. Yeah, and a couple of them have already announced that they're retiring.
And you've got the opposite.
A couple of them have basically retired without saying it. So Rey Mysterio is involved, but his involvement is part-time between injuries and stuff. So we're already adjusting to a world without Rey Mysterio as an in-ring regular performer. We've adjusted to Randy Orton. We're adjusting to all these people, but it got me thinking, what happens to wrestling next? Who steps up and who are the big stars? So we'll start there. Who do we think steps up?
I've got a very bold take. And I doubt you'll know some of it, depending on how far back you've gone as a wrestling fan, just to see the timelines, etc., and how it worked. But I actually think this could well be similar to when WCW, when they become their own entity from the NWA in late 1989, going into late 1990. And obviously, the WWF are obviously coming off a high from Hogan's big period of just dominating everything. Everyone was starting to get sick and tired of Hogan. But they were trying to find new stars, but they were going through the drug scandal as well, but the steroid scandal. So it's huge. But they were leaning into talent like Bret Hart and Mr. Perfect and Shawn Michaels, Diesel, Razor Ramon, Taker. They were leaning into that, whereas WCW went more down this. He was still heavy. He wasn't as heavy on steroids, but he was heavy as a physique in terms of Sting. They went down that route. They called in the likes of Great Muta from Japan. They called in Jake Roberts from his time in WWE when his contract expired. Mick Foley, when he was incredibly agile for a big man. You had Terry Funk coming back into the business. And still Ric Flair. They went down that route, but they were struggling with crowds and sellouts because, let's be real, it's not just the fact that they were in a struggling business. It's, well, if people are genuinely sick and tired of Hulkamania, then why the fuck would you care about the rest of the business? It was becoming a problem. So crowds died, TVs went down, house shows failed. And my biggest take is, I'm not saying this era is as big as Hulkamania. I'm not. But what I'm saying is potentially is this current era, there is so many good wrestlers, and there are across so many different companies. But even then, I agree, who steps up? I actually think no one is going to step up. And it's not because they're not good enough. It's I think they are trying to encourage it to be a collective rather than the individual. I don't think there wants to be an individual who takes it on anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so you think that the new era and the new approach would be essentially to have a big upper mid card?
I think they have to figure out some route like that and try to encourage someone to take the step or take the leap. Like, if there's anyone, like, if you look at, like, I think AEW are so encouragement for right now, like Kyle Fletcher, but I think the answer is still, even though he's a twat, I still think the answer is MJF. I think he's still the answer to someone who understands those eras and someone understands who those singular talents were. And he's like, I want to be that. Well, if he wants to be that, now is the time.
How old is MJF now?
MJF, I think he's still mid-30s. I think. I'll double check for you. I'm sure he's still mid-30s. He's not that old, MJF. Actually, no, he's younger than that. Yeah, MJF's a year older than me. He's 30 in March.
So yeah.
So I'm like, now's the time for him. So
when you talk
about I agree, Josiah. Like,
when you talk about age, though, there are two aspects to it.
Absolutely.
One, we're talking about physical age, and the other, we're talking about the age of your act, the age of your basically your screen age. And I mean, you know, examples of this. The top example, I think, is Austin Theory.
That's a perfect
example.
This
is a guy who had potential to burn, and he burnt it, and WWE burnt it for him. And they burnt it for him because they kept involving him in stupid things,
and
to the point that now you can't care about him, even though he's got all that potential. And it would take a full-on rehabilitation of his character. And, you know, the phrase Cornette uses a lot, go away and learn a new hold. The idea that he needs to go and change something actually quite drastic.
I think there's
and come back after a long time because his screen age is too old. He's been around too long, and we're used to it.
Exactly. Good to see, obviously, the likes of Temple and Josiah in the chat. Welcome, boys.
Hey, folks.
Another great example as well, and it's a shame because this guy, we've raved about this guy on this channel for so long, but he's literally been so misused for so long, and we got to the point where you can't generally fix him anymore. It's Shinsuke Nakamura. He's another one.
Yeah, but he's also old.
He is, but even when he was like, you still take Nakamura 6 years ago.
Yeah, but he came to America as a proven guy, and within 5 years, he was a veteran. Like, he was in the twilight of his career. He's just having a very long twilight. Whereas I feel like Austin Theory, or dare I say Darby Allin?
Darby Allin should be right there. I mean, you think about it, this guy is so incredibly popular.
And the stuff he's involved in, it's aging him because it makes us not want to see him. And that's where you've got the problem. That's where I think you've got the hole. because everyone we want to see is 40 plus.
Basically, yeah.
Seth's 39, but he's basically 40.
Yeah.
But, you know, like Cody, Punk, LA Knight, AJ Styles, John Cena, Randy Orton, with the exceptions of Gunther and Braun Breaker and Dominic Mysterio, you know, even Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre.
They're both 40s now as well, yeah.
All these lads are 40 plus.
Yeah, that's true, Tyler. Thanks for dropping that in as well. I did see that. Yeah, non-wrestling injury for Jacob Fatu. No fucking clue what that is, but
jeez, oh.
see, those are some good names, like the likes of Yota Tsuji, Oiwa. They're great names, but Ilya Dragunov is somebody within WWE who's got phenomenal potential. But here's the thing about him. This is a sad reality. Ilya Dragunov, hot and cold 1 minute in terms of how he's booked, badly injured the next.
He's not fit. He's not fit. It is the Keith Lee situation.
Yeah. Leo Slay's another one, yeah.
A guy who could take this business by storm.
Oh, 100%.
But he needs to be healthy and he needs to be here to do it. So then, right, there's two sides of the coin. I don't want it to get tribal. But we have to start in North America.
I mean, the vast majority of pro wrestling is North America, depending on what
and
your favorite
who we think could step up on both sides. And we have to treat this, and I will treat it with the respect.
What do you think about Temple's comment? I've seen some of Miles Bourne, but I don't know much on. But he says the only NXT he'd push, the only guy in NXT he'd push is Miles Bourne. I think that's
Miles Bourne's really good, but the problem is he's the third guy in his stable, or at best the second guy.
He is the bald deaf guy, isn't he? Not to sound harsh, but he is the bald deaf
guy. I believe that's who you're on about, yeah. But if he's still in, are they still called No Quarter Catch Crew, or what they called now?
When it comes to NXT, I know basically.
When the guy that I think's been cancelled was running it, it was called No Quarter Catch Crew. They're called something else now, I think.
It might be
something else to do with catch, maybe.
Pillman Jr. I don't think Lexus King's got any potential at all. I've said it for a long time. He's a waste. Miles Bourne.
They had to do with him what they did with Ricky Starks. They had to Ricky Saints, I should say. They had to strike on that iron while it was hot. They went a different route with it. I know you can't just pull everyone in from AEW and like make them the top star, but I feel like if you wanted
catch clause. So it used to be Drew. So is it Drew Gulak, Charlie Dempsey, and Damon Kemp?
Yeah, I thought Gulak had been like cancelled.
That's the first I've heard of that.
There was something going on, but I didn't know the result of it, so I didn't want to say his name.
Right, okay. First I've heard of that.
Was he the one that pulled at someone's shorts?
Oh, yeah.
I think Ronda, was it Ronda?
Yeah.
Yeah, Drew pulled at Ronda's shirt. I knew I'd read that somewhere.
No,
obviously a huge name I've missed. Brock Lesnar. Well, he's already part-time, but he can only keep coming out and chucking people around for 3 or 4 more years.
But he's another prime example, funnily enough, of, as you say, he's a prime example of the ruthless aggression era.
Yeah, it's a bygone era of wrestling that WWE will not let go of.
I agree with that, though, Temple, 100%. The problem in this wrestling business is in this generation is they push the same stars in both AEW and WWE.
Yeah, so I'm just checking the age of Lexus King.
He's mid-30s.
1993, so he's 32.
Yeah, he's 4 years older than me.
Yeah, he's 32. He could be something. He could.
I think the problem is
the other one to check was Ricky Saints. I feel like he's
about 31ish. I think 31.
I feel like he's older than people give him credit for. You know, he's 35.
I thought he was about early 30s. Fuck.
No, 35. Born 1990.
Wow.
Which again, like 35, he could very well be like the near future of this business. You know.
How old's Ethan Page?
I feel like he is younger, but I will get it up.
The annoying thing is he's such a mad talent, but I feel like he's trying to still figure out what he
Oh
is.
no, he is 36.
Fucking hell, I never thought
But
that.
again, it's because these people have been around so long. I mean, like Ethan Page and Josh Alexander, were they the North?
They were the North. Yeah,
They were the North. Yeah. So Ethan Page and Josh Alexander, they, because they spend so long on TNA, on Impact, and because Impact, like it or not, it doesn't have the pull to create your Stone Colds, your John Cena's, your Roman Reigns's. It doesn't. Those guys may be as good as them in the ring, and they may be as good as them at cutting promos, but Impact doesn't have the spotlight on it that creates your Roman Reigns, your John Cena,
like it once was.
It was able to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, Samoa Joe, he's just announced that he'll be done after his recent deal.
That's right. That's going to be a big miss for the wrestling industry as well, and nobody's copped that on. Like, Samoa Joe will genuinely be a big miss to the wrestling company.
Well, this is the other thing. You've got all these guys potentially leaving the industry, but certainly leaving the active part of the industry.
Yeah. And how many of them are actually willing to stay in the industry?
Yeah, because there are movie deals waiting for certainly some of the WWE guys. I mean, Seth Rollins was going to be in Captain America. I believe they cut him.
Yeah, he got cut, yeah.
They cut him, but he was going to be in there. And obviously, we're only talking about the men here, but, like, it's weird because the women aren't really facing the same problem.
I think the weird thing about women's wrestling, and Catherine won't like the fact that we're praising women, but it's true. The women's divisions across the board, in my opinion, are constantly evolving very quickly. North America, Europe, and Asia. There's a constant flood of women's wrestling. I think the build-up of women's wrestling over the past, say, 5-10 years is so astronomical that more women are going, you know what, I'm not just in it now because, I need to be in a diva search or all that bollocks. No, they're actually they're chasing these athletes or they're wrestling fans at heart, and they're like, no, we want a career as a wrestler. I'm like, fucking
yeah. I wonder if it's because, and we will go back to talking about the broader point.
Samoa Joe for me, Maria. Samoa Joe, I think, retires first.
I wonder when it comes to the women's side of it, is the consideration perhaps that on the whole, they're not as big stars anyway?
Yeah.
So a Lyra Valkyria or a Roxanne Perez can show up, put in admirable performances, really good performances at times. I mean, I thought Lyra Valkyria was great in the street fight with Becky.
Fair, yeah.
And if they're good enough, they join that echelon of the women's division where you think about like mid-card, upper mid-card.
Yeah.
But if Santos Escobar, which by the way, he's old, he's over 40.
Yeah.
But if or let's say, a Dragon Lee, I think he's younger.
Yeah.
If Dragon Lee shows up on SmackDown and does well, he's still Dragon Lee.
Yeah.
So he might get a US title run down the line for a few months and then drop it. But
I agree.
Isn't going to get the rocket.
It's not like someone like Penta, if you want to have a direct comparison, mask to mask. It's not like a Penta where he is going to get that. Or, I can't stand this gimmick, but it seems to be working in Mexico, El Grande Americano. I don't like this gimmick, but it seems to be causing strides in Mexico. Still North America, but it's the other side that the Americans just choose to ignore at times, which is stupid because it's got such a great talent roster. But that is an example.
Yeah, but even if you look at the supposed El Grande Americano, he's 39.
Really?
Yeah.
Ludwig Kaiser's 39 years old.
No, I meant Chad Gable, but you know what I mean.
Oh, Chad Gable.
Ludwig Kaiser's younger. I'm sure of that.
We know he's on Rochester.
Yeah, he's only 33, but he will always be a lackey.
Yeah.
For as long as Gunther is in that company,
He ain't in.
Ludwig Kaiser is
Nothing.
destined to be a henchman.
Yeah, it's just like Giovanni Vinci. Oh wait, never mind. He's gone.
And when
But
you think
you're
about,
right.
okay, who did they push out of nowhere? Who was the guy? It was Jey Uso.
Annoyingly,
But how old is Jey Uso?
39.
He's 39. So when you have the opportunity to do a win out of nowhere,
Exactly.
they didn't use it to get someone else over. I mean,
It's
on
just-
the other side of the coin, if you look at AEW, well, we know Kenny Omega's basically done.
Yeah.
He's
Kota
a- he's
Ibushi's just had another injury, and he's
Yeah, he's a
expected to be out
part timer.
for
I
2
think
years.
Kota Ibushi is going to be out for 2 years. Yeah, so
He's
you know,
said himself, yeah, potentially up to 2 years to fully recover. That man is crazy, but at least he's honest. But he's still
and Okada's
in his 40s.
37, but you've got to look at how Japan aged him because he doesn't
The aggressive
work
style.
like a 37.
Mm.
He works
Exactly.
like a 45. He works like an older guy because Japan took it out of him.
Yeah. It's
So
it's a tough
that's the
environment to crack. Even like FTR, I've done everywhere. FTR are well into their 40s.
yeah, the rivals surely.
You've got the Bucks as well. We'll love them or hate them, but the Bucks are still the exact same. Like there's an incredible amount of age on them.
Yeah. So FTR.
Early 40s, mid 40s.
Well, here's the thing, right? So I found this article here,
Yeah.
and it was written earlier this year.
Okay.
Thesportster.com.
Right.
This wasn't like pre-researched.
Okay.
The average age of AEW's top stars. Now, we've got to keep in mind what top means here, because they have included Chris Jericho. And that's going to bump it up a bit. And I know he's a big name, but he's not a top star anymore. So I will give AEW that benefit of the doubt. The average age of their top stars as of the 15th of May this year was 39.4. And if I look at the average age of the WWE roster,
It's about 36, I think. It's roughly the same. It's not older, but it's around the same bracket. It's still quite old.
so according to this, it's 34.6. That cannot.
That can't be right, because if you look at their vast majority of their so-called top stars,
Unless
same
they're
bracket, are
throwing
pushing
NXT
40.
in there,
If they're throwing
But
NXT in there,
then that's unfair.
yeah, that's not right at all. It should be the whole Raw and Smack.
But also, when we
Down.
include like main roster, this is the tricky bit, because AEW, they just did top stars. WWE give you it as a main roster. WWE give you it as their undercard.
Exactly.
WWE are probably including the women that are about 23
Yeah. So it's
to
not
massively bring their average down.
It's not a
I
fair
would
sample
think-
size.
Yeah, I would think WWE's main event scene averages about 42 at the moment.
I would agree. 100%. I would agree with that.
Like, because Punk's 46, isn't he?
Yeah. AJ's 47. Cena's Cena's a rocket of age.
Orton's 44.
Yep. Brock Lesnar's about 46, 47. Something like that.
Yeah.
Brock's ancient.
Yeah, so Randy Orton's 45.
Yeah.
But WWE are so clever with their numbers. They'll go, but look, we've got all these young stars. Like, okay, what are you doing with them?
Massively.
Because, like I say, with the exception of Gunther and Braun Breaker, and you're trying to do something with Jacob Fatu, but he isn't there yet.
Exactly. Josiah's got an excellent question for you. He says, I want to get your thoughts on this. What should the average age do you think should be acceptable for the main event scene?
For the main event scene,
it's a brilliant question, mate. That's a brilliant question.
It's a really good question, because basically it sounds like, what I'm saying sounds like ageism.
I would say 34 to 36 personally.
But what it actually is just looking at the health of the company.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I think right, and I'm gonna give you a really like nerdy comparison here. My job is as a tutor, but I also run a tutoring organization. So myself and my dad, we run it together.
Yeah.
When we were starting it, my dad produced this list of people he knew who could become tutors for us.
So,
but they were all retired teachers. And I looked at him and went, do we want the average age of our tutoring base to be 60 or 30? That doesn't mean we don't take the right person on, but we don't just approach retired teachers. We look for current teachers. We look for trainee teachers as well. Because the health of the company is in a workforce that is reliable and long-term sustainable.
Yeah.
WWE's main event scene right now is not long-term sustainable because snap your fingers, it's 2028. Can you tell me Punk's still working?
Absolutely
Is Roman still working? Are the Usos still around as often as they are? Orton will be done, probably.
Yeah.
Lesnar will be done. Punk will be done.
Yep.
Edge, if he comes back, he'll be done.
Jericho will be the same.
Jericho will be done. Jericho will be done next year. Mysterio will be done.
Yep.
Styles, obviously.
Is done, yeah.
Cena, done. Gone.
Yeah. It's a dangerous situation.
LA Knight.
Him and Damian Priest are only 2 months apart for age.
Yeah. Damian Priest, LA Knight, Drew McIntyre. It'll all go.
Yeah.
And is NXT creating the stars that step up?
No. No.
For as much as you like Obafemi, they're not going to really get behind him until 2027 at earliest, I don't think.
And they've already done the same thing with a big, powerful man of his stature. They've done it with Omos. And look what they did to him.
Another one that we're not talking about, Sami Zayn's 41.
I thought you were going to say Trick Williams. Like, he doesn't count as a pro wrestler.
No, but if Sami Zayn wins the world title, finally wins the big one, that's great. He's 41.
If you give him the world title as well, you're also rubbing it in the face of people who are genuine fans of someone like an LA Knight as well, because they're like, well, you said, oh, he's too old, but you gave the win to Damian Priest. But as you say, if you give the win to Sami Zayn, who's older than both of them, it's kind of a slap in the face to him when he is actually just as over. So I
get what's being said about AJ there. I would agree. He is.
But for the longest time, he's still
now. Next year, he will be a main eventer.
His final year as a full timer, he will get. Yeah, there's
no next year. I think he gets a world title, and it will be basically what they wanted Cena to do. It will be a face run. He will be the face that runs the place. They will do it.
I think he'll be the world champion on SmackDown. I think he'll take the belt to SmackDown.
Yeah. I think he'll win the belt. I think he will. Because why not? You want him to have all these great matches, and it would genuinely feel like it was in jeopardy. So if he was the champion, it would feel like he was in jeopardy. He could then drop it to, and obviously, look, there are 3 names right now that I imagine you're like, oh, WWE will be fine. They've got Gunther, they've got Braun Breaker, they've got Dominic Mysterio.
But they do. But the problem is, what's after that?
Yeah. They've got Jacob Fatu. Great. Are these guys capable? No. Is wrestling popular enough now?
No.
That we can even get stars again?
That's an honest question. I think if you're really honest as a fan, the answer is no. And here's the reason. If people want to argue this, well, I've got a perfect example for you. And everyone knows I hate the ratings discourse. But
Mhm.
WWE started with what, 7 million viewers at the start of the year on Netflix. They hit 2.1 million last week.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, but like, as popular as people think they are, and other companies should be doing a whole. I'll say it respectfully. Other companies should be doing a whole lot better. If you're somebody who focuses on ratings, they should be doing a whole lot better.
Well, about every show just took a hit. Every wrestling
But
show
WWE
just
can't
took a hit
justify.
of about 20%.
Exactly.
But
But WWE can't
they,
justify
yeah,
losing
but
5
because they
million
took a
viewers.
hit, yeah. So WWE lost 20%. So did AEW. This
They
is a
did.
wrestling problem, okay?
Mhm.
But let me
Mhm.
ask you: did the NFL lose the ratings?
No, go more popular.
Yeah, the NBA?
More popular. Well, Greg, or you or Greg will be able to confirm that. I don't know, but I'm sure the NBA is
Well,
far more
I
popular.
know the NFL's gone, like at least steadied.
Yeah, they're crazy. I'm pretty sure for ratings right now.
Yeah, well, it is truly exciting stuff. I'm going to London this Sunday to watch my Rams in action. But
Nice. I'll tell you what says a lot. Recent MLS games are outdrawn the WWE.
yeah,
Like the Inter Miami games are outdrawn WWE on television, which nobody thought they would ever say that about the MLS, but it's true. The MLS has outdrawn them.
and again, I mean, there's a question there about the MLS as well because when
Oh yeah.
Messi goes, what do those fans do?
Oh, they'll probably go back into their shells and go, what?
There's
They'll
no,
probably go,
yeah, like there's the same way that there's no next Messi, there's no next Cena. And people talk about, oh, it's the passing of the torch, Cena to Cody. That's great. You've knocked 5 years off your problem.
or so they
You
think.
haven't knocked 15 off it. You
Yeah.
don't have this young, hungry, and it's the fault kind of NXT
It's become
because that's what it was meant to do.
NXT really has. It's kind of why I stopped watching, but I didn't stop watching because of who was in charge. I stopped watching because I felt like it lost an identity. And
I stopped watching when they started 2.0. Like I stopped paying close attention when they started 2.0.
yeah, I feel like
When they
NXT
went to like
over-
the white rebrand, like the white logo
Oh,
rebrand, I was like,
oh.
I'll watch this for a bit, and then I just fell off because I was just like, it's okay.
My issue with NXT, and this is kind of a bugbear, but to answer Chess's question first, if AJ does win the world title in his final year next year, who will beat him? I would honestly do the wisest thing. I would give the win to Braun Breaker because
Yeah,
Lineage is the smartest answer. You go for Lineage and you let him run the joint. If you don't, then you're fickle. But and not you guys fickle. I mean, booking is fickle. But I was saying there about NXT and losing identity and all that. But like this might sound very harsh, but for me, the last truly great matches I watched in NXT was Braun Breaker versus Gunther, Braun Breaker versus Nick Nemeth when he regained the title, and Team NXT versus the Next Generation in War Games. Like
there was.
I feel like they haven't had anything good since, and they've got good talent, but where I say the loss of identity is because they went from the like the indie style of wrestling with the WWE's idea of marketing good character, which works really well. Like Tyler Breeze is a perfect example of this. Indie wrestler, but with a character and a gimmick. And you disappear from that and you go and say, you know what? Let's have The Undertaker appear on NXT. Let's have John Cena appear on NXT. And we're like, that's not what NXT is, for fuck's sake.
Well, yeah, that's you're so right because
it's offensive to the whole idea of a development brand.
Is reliant on the Hardys.
Exactly.
NXT is reliant on these appearances from Taker, Punk, Cena was there, Styles did a thing. Yeah, I mean, not even really talking about commentary because anyone could do commentary, but I mean, like the people who are actually appearing in the ring are like, oh, so and so will be the guest referee. Cody Rhodes is the GM. You're like, that's great, but now people are tuning in just to see the guys that they know.
And they keep
eventually the guys that you know stop doing this.
And they keep talent on this for so long. And you mentioned something at the very start of this entire thing, which is absolutely phenomenal. The age of your character. Now,
Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong, but Roxanne Perez was on NXT for what, 4 years?
I believe so, yeah.
She should have been on the main roster within 2 years.
Yeah, I think what we allow them there, I think genuinely what grace we give them there is that she wasn't always on top.
Yeah.
And she went away and she came back and she did feuds. And I do genuinely think she feels fresh. But this is why this question feels very targeted at the men, because it is.
It's
Because
not wrong.
like it or not, genuinely, and you
The
know
men-
who's saying this, I love women's wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
The men draw the money. It's
Without
America. They've just, they're not only doing a Rumble in Saudi, they've sold a Mania to Saudi. If you
Mhm.
think the women are going to be the highlight of a Saudi Arabian Mania, you're smoking the hopium.
Literally.
Because there is not a chance that that is what's going to draw the money. They can put as much as they want into that women's match.
Mhm.
It is not drawing the money. Look at WrestleMania.
I was going to say
this year.
something as well. I was going to say
Mhm.
something as well before you get your point. And this is not
Yeah.
to sound like, oh, I'm looking for a stare or anything, but women's wrestling is more than just being able to deliver good moves and deliver a good story as well. Women on television, better than men, are great at when it comes to selling sex appeal. And that's not like a sexist dig or anything like that, but it's true. When
No.
it comes to sex appeal, women outright dominate men when it comes to sex appeal. But
the men are watching the women's wrestling to ogle at the women.
And to be fair, women do that to guys too, which is completely valid. But
but
it's totally different.
I know of people who watch the women's matches until the bell rings.
And then that's it. Yeah.
And then it's nose in the phone. It's check what else is on and come back later. But they watch the entrances. I'm like, okay, so, and that's a societal thing, and you're not really going to shift it, and you just kind of have to take that. But as a result,
whereas for the women, they'll watch the entrances, they'll watch the matches because you see sweat, you see bulging biceps, and you see men running around. And quite frankly, to a lot of people, that's an attraction, and that keeps you glued. And the men's side of it, there's none. There's none.
But I think women's wrestling's been more interesting this year.
Yeah.
It's been a lot more interesting to follow, and the matches have been better. And
stories are even better as well.
Be fine. But so what I've pulled up at the side of me here,
I'm looking forward to
I have a concerning point from 2021. So I know that you're knocking a few years of age off a couple of people here, okay?
Still valid, but yes.
So firstly, the winner of the Royal Rumble in 2021 was Edge.
Yeah, he's
brilliant
51.
Moment, lovely stuff, but he would have been 46 when he did that?
Yes.
No, 40...
47, wouldn't he? Is he not 51 now? Is he 51?
Yeah, 48. He'd have been 47 or 48, yeah.
Right, okay. So that's still a big knock on him in the circumstance. But
he is close to 52.
Yeah, and he just came back from an injury as well, which makes it even
worse. Again, not only do you have screen age, but now your body is aging quicker than you do.
Yes.
There's a possibility, because they're looking at everything that's going on with my body at the moment, one of the possible things is a diagnosis of something where my skeleton is aging quicker than I am.
Yeah.
So it happens sometimes without any physical activity or any strain and stuff. Mm-hmm. So if you imagine putting yourself through whatever every week for years on end, Edge's body is probably moving like that of a 60-year-old. Mm-hmm. And take that from a 25-year-old who's currently moving like an 85-year-old. Yeah. And I am not fucking joking.
Mm.
That's just where we are right now, and hopefully it will get better. But then you
Yeah.
got Brock Lesnar in 2022. He was already so beyond tired.
Exactly. Phenomenal comment
So-
as well, Diego. That's a phenomenal comment.
Yeah,
Good to see you,
absolutely.
mate.
TV networks draw the most revenue from the men's wrestling deals. However, when the script is done correctly in women's wrestling, yeah,
That's
absolutely.
phenomenal, mate.
Black
That's
and
a
Gold
phenomenal.
NXT was great. I didn't like 2.0 Vince Kit. Yeah, I would
Vincent
completely
Bruce
agree.
Vincent is chubby psychic, Bruce Pritchard, but absolutely.
So Brock wins in 2022, and that was to set up Brock and Roman. Roman, who you already knew was part-time.
Yep.
Brock, who's part-time. Brock,
Yeah.
who was over 40 at that time. And
Exactly.
Roman, who was a little bit younger, but he was in his title reign and it was part-time, and people were getting a little bit sick of it at this point because they hadn't injected the Cody fire back into it, and I don't even know if Sami Zayn was involved yet.
He would have been just after because it was SummerSlam. So it would have
Yeah,
been just
because this is
after.
Rumble 22, so it would have been SummerSlam 22 that he was.
Yeah, because then he gets the Montreal in 23.
Yeah,
The first Montreal, yeah, because everyone's like, no, just give the win to Sami Zayn, have Sami versus Cody at WrestleMania. And everyone was like, are you
and
off
then
are you
Cody
on
back
drugs?
to back because they chose Cody as their guy, and he was the next Cena, and he was 38 when he won the Rumble.
Which makes sense in a way. Like if you've got someone you firmly believe in, you do the repeat in the strongest format, which I do understand.
Then he was 39, and now he's 40. So now you start looking at it. So if you play career mode on FC, what age do you start phasing people out of your squad?
For me, I like to have a core team of players up until they're about 29, 30 position dependent, and then I'll start to phase them out about 31, 32 if I have the right. I don't mind. I don't mind veterans, but
If I like the player,
I'll keep them.
I get them to 30.
I'm bad for that. I like to keep players if I like them like that.
If I'm not particularly attached to the player, no word of a lie, they reach 26 and I'm on the market.
I used to have that mindset years ago.
I am the DiCaprio of football management. You reach 26, I'm gonna look for your replacement. I used to have a bad mindset for that. I used to do career mode all the time, and if you were a player at 27, bear in mind Man United's best teams 10 years ago, most of them were in late 27. I'm well, you can fuck off. You can. So I'm you can go, but then a couple of years later, I'm actually no. I like it when a player's later in years because they can bring someone. So I'm if you get later into your 30s, I'm there you go. Depending on the player, if you're Ibrahimovic, you can just stay in the team. Yeah.
But
good comment from Jake. Around 30 or 31, I normally do with career mode. Yeah, so maybe I'm just a weirdo. But honestly, player reaches 26, and I just kind of go, nah. Yeah. I mean, I play career mode in such a weird way that so what I've done with because it's always Arsenal, but I do Hale End. So I release all of Arsenal's players.
Good, because they're all shit.
And I only scout. I only scout players. So I only use a youth academy to get my players. Nice. And it means that I have the same team together for 8-9 years before I move them on. Exactly. So maybe I'm just weird about it, but I look at WWE now the same way. And I remember that I used to do a universe mode in this same way where I would automatically, so I would go NXT and I would have a rule that I wasn't going to sign anyone. And I think the age I chose was 38. But I was if you're older than 38, I don't want you.
Yeah, so I'm saying I like to be a certain criteria. So now,
so why is elevating the younger guys? Your Tyler Bates, your Pete Dunnes, Ilya Dragunov, Gunther. And I was focusing on that, and there'd be the young guys in the Indies. Darby Allin appeared, MJF appeared. The folk you could download. Adam Page because he was younger then.
Yeah. I do career mode, for example. I do max now. If you're a special talent, I consider I go 34, maybe 35, unless it's a really good veteran that that I'll have for 1 season, let them retire with me. But I like to phase out if they've not got enough validation or value to my team. If you're 29 to 31, you're out. But if you have a valid If you've got like a constant delivery where I need you, like a clutch moment, I'll be like, I'll keep you. But I'm the same for wrestling. For me, like in wrestling circumstance, for me, I'm not saying you should be at your peak by a certain age, but for me, a top pro wrestler these days must know who they are, must have a cemented gimmick, must be able to evolve by the time, this might sound very harsh, if you haven't got your shit together by your 32, 33, I don't want you anywhere near my company.
No, it would be tough to bring someone on who was still green at 32.
Mm-hmm.
Like green. If it was just, you know what, we maybe need to like tweak your gimmick. We maybe need to, you know,
If they've
just
got ambition, see if they show me ambition at that age. If they've got ambition, they're like, well, I can't do it like this, but I might be able to do it like that. Then I'll say, you know what, you're an exception.
But if you show up at 32 and, you know, like
you're not getting through my door. You're not getting through my door.
Well, I don't know if you've seen like, you know, the footage of like William Regal training the rookies.
Yeah.
Where he's just like step forward with your left foot. If like they're not able to do that at the age of 32, I don't want them. So if your basics aren't in place and you're 32, Harley isn't outlier. She's older but getting better at her craft.
If you get better at your craft, you've got a justification for it. Harley Cameron's not actually that bad. She's a good comedic side.
To get rid of everyone who's over 40. What I'm saying is we need to have a core of 25 to 35.
Yeah, they need that baseline quickly because
you need a core. You need the young, exciting new people. Because think back to how Ruthless Aggression got going. They introduced the guys from OVW.
Yeah.
And what happened as a result? WWE were set for the next 15 years.
Yep. And then they forgot.
And more, because they keep using these people even now. But, you know, if you were being... So, like, when did Ruthless Aggression, like, end in terms of, like, oh, all the stars, like, stopped? You're looking at, like, 2016, probably. And even then, you still had Randy Orton kicking about.
16, 17. So, not in a way, Fuego. That's not what we're saying, but... Aging Hangman and Kenny out to the core. Hangman actually is more reliable in terms of the core than Kenny. That's not Kenny's fault. Kenny obviously diverted Kurt Lights is absolutely horrible, but Hangman is actually safe enough to the core. Like Swerve Strickland is another one to the core. Like
Hangman's also fine because he's only 34.
Exactly. But
Kenny could be on the roster. To be honest, like doing attraction match because. Once again, Kenny Omega's 42, but I bet you he's moving like he's 62. Not because like
he's went through,
in ring, but out of it.
Yeah.
And all the surgeries and all the injuries.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I'm
surprised Rey Mysterio's still going.
Mm-hmm. Look up
genuinely, like, his body needs to be studied. How does he keep coming back? It might just be his size. You know, he's small enough, these injuries heal quicker. He doesn't have as much like mass to put on. Because if a larger wrestler had as many knee injuries as Rey Mysterio's had, they would have retired 10 years ago.
Taker's kind of did, but it took him too long. That's a good one.
But that's because they kept pulling Taker back in because they needed Taker because they didn't have it.
Yeah. Fuego, that's a great statement. Kenny should slide into the Undertaker role, show up for All In, do some V-triggers, get some love. That's the thing. You could have someone. This is what you could do for Kenny Omega. You could have someone in that period. Kenny's outside doing like all these other roles he does, like his Twitch streaming, promoting AEW as an EVP, doing all that stuff. Meanwhile, every single year until he decides, you know what, that's me. You could have someone every single year try and go after the big one. You can have someone say, you know what, All In. I want Kenny Omega one-on-one. And you do it every single year. Similar to Taker. You draft them out. Or you can do it like what they did with Punk in 2013. You have a Fatal 4-Way. You have a couple of talents. You don't know who it is. One of them wins the Fatal 4-Way. They go and challenge Kenny Omega All In. I guarantee a lot of people would be popping for that because you're like, fuck, who could get Kenny Omega? And you can really get some competitiveness because the AEW World title is important to them, but it's like they say for certain talents, if you get a certain win over a certain talent, your name goes straight into the main booker's eyes. If you beat Kenny
Or
Omega
it
on the big
should.
stage, you're focused. Or it should, yeah.
Yeah, because here's an argument that I've ended up in with Greg, with my brother.
Loving this.
We ended up.
Greg's a good one for an argument, so I'm looking forward to this one.
It got a little bit heated a couple nights ago.
Sweet.
We were on the call discussing what John Cena does for his last match.
Ooh.
And our other friend thinks it's going to be Chris Jericho.
This is the... Oh, I forgot his name.
Murray.
It's Murray. Sorry, I forgot his name.
Yeah.
Yeah, Murray.
Blissful Rugby on TikTok, by the way. So if you are interested in rugby,
There you go.
you know, if you
got
happen
that
to like that sport,
Exactly.
does great content on it. I mean, I watch it and I don't even get the sport.
It's NFL without your PPE, folks. I like to make... My pal makes that joke all the time, so it's always good to put a cheap plug in.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you're having a heated argument.
Yeah, and I said they might as well make it Brock Lesnar and have John Cena slay Brock Lesnar in the last match, get his win back from the embarrassment at WrestlePalooza, and just end it.
Yeah.
And then they were saying Cena should go out on his back because he's a veteran and he'll do that. He'll lose his last match. I was like,
Yeah.
all right.
I think he will.
You've proposed Chris Jericho and Edge. Why should either of them beat Cena in his last match? What does that do for the long-term health of the company?
Is it bad as well? And I'm not calling them out or anything like that. But here's the thing. I don't know if you agree, but does it not seem to me if you have Chris Jericho or Edge come in and beat them, that doesn't seem like you're paying respect to Cena's retirement. It sounds to me like you're just taking another shot at a company where they've just came back from.
Yeah, disagree. Cena puts over Braun Breaker or Gunther. Okay. And again,
Two names I was thinking of, yeah.
Yeah, well, I could be speaking out of turn. Putting over, like John Cena putting someone over by having them win in his last match is not the putting over that you think it's going to be.
It's just Austin Theory all over again.
Well, yeah, like the Austin Theory one meant more because he wasn't retiring.
Abel says Dirty Dom.
John Cena has already announced his retirement. So the guy that beats John Cena in the last match, if he loses his last match, hasn't done dick all of shit.
They'll be remembered as the person that Cena beat last on his way out.
Or like the last person that beat John Cena before he retired, which was already scheduled.
Yeah.
So they've not ended John Cena because John Cena's already announced that he's done.
Exactly.
So it'll be nonsense if Braun Breaker beats John Cena and then starts going around with a t-shirt on like I beat the champ, you know, like I killed John Cena, whatever he wants to say. You didn't.
Yeah.
John Cena already announced he was retiring. This was his last match. If you win, you've done nothing but beat a guy who, let's be completely honest, up until they decided to give him a heel title run at WrestleMania,
has done feck all.
He'd been a punching bag from WrestleMania 34?
Yeah, ever since Taker squashed him in 5 minutes. Yeah.
Am I missing one? Am I missing something before that where like Cena entered his punching bag era?
Well, to be fair, he did get mocked by fucking Bray Wyatt in the Firefly Funhouse a couple of years later.
It can't be though, because he was world champ at the start of 2017.
Yeah, and he had that.
Lost it in the chamber.
Yeah,
then got squashed by Taker.
Yeah, 2-week title reign, then that was him. But
and
that
from
was
there,
a year.
Cena was just the guy that came in and got beat.
But bear in mind though, that was a year later though. 2017, that was WrestleMania 33, and Cena at WrestleMania 33 was The Miz, wasn't it? It was The Miz and Maurice in a tag match. He was in a mixed
Yes.
tag at WrestleMania 33, I think.
Yes.
The year later was WrestleMania 34 because it was when he trolled Elias. He's like, well, if I was here, I should be up against The Undertaker.
And remember, Cena was meant to put that was meant to help Elias.
Kevin Owens won't be back until 2028. What? Kevin Owens won't be out for 3 years.
He might be.
If he's out 3 years,
he said 3 years in his promo, but then that's going to take him over 40. So again, you're looking at one last run. But especially because look, not only will he be coming off a 3-year injury potentially, but you've also got to look at the previous injuries and everything he did in Ring of Honor, and it's all this stuff about if you do too much too early, it hurts you at the end of your career.
And he needs to get back in. He needs to get his reps back in as well. That's not easy.
Elias, I think, is a prime example of the problem.
Oh, that's a great
This
example.
guy now is 37. When did Cena and Lashley beat Elias and KO?
That was overseas, wasn't it? That was when he debuted
It was either Saudi or Australia.
That was the show where Triple H faced The Undertaker in that 40-minute main event. It's 2019.
2019.
Yeah, Saudi. The Super Showdown in
Super Showdown.
2018. Thanks, Josiah. I thought it was 2018 or 2019. Yeah, Super Showdown.
You know, Elias was 30 years old then.
Yeah, and he was tipped for good things, and we all know what happened there.
What happened? And absolutely, rest in peace. Love this guy. But what happened? Not in terms of his death, but in terms of what did you do with him while he was alive? You fed him to people who were already made. You fed people who needed made to those who were already made, and you gave them nothing in return. And you've been doing it since the Nexus.
Exactly.
But since then, think of all the people, and I know that we're looking back now, because even Finn Balor, as much as I love him, he's over 40. He'll be done soon.
He's 44.
Yeah, he'll be done very soon. He's probably signing his last WWE deal next year. If
he decides he wants to go and be a trainer for his Irish promotion, but in circumstance,
he might just step away.
And if he did, fair play to him. That would be a wise move.
We were taking folks who were in their early 30s
for granted,
late 20s sometimes.
Yeah.
And feeding them to guys who were already made and were 38, 39, 40 plus.
Oh, I forgot one.
Yeah.
Sheamus.
That's
another one we forgot, but he's another prime example. They keep having him in that Bulgarian cuck, Rusev.
Yeah, but they brought Aleister Black back. He's 40 now.
Andrade's now left again.
Yeah. So that's not an acquisition for the future. That's for the now. That's to be a mid-carder now.
Which is, at least they've put him in that position straight away rather than wasting time.
Will he get a push in the main event? He might get a Backlash main event or something, but that'll be it.
Yeah, he'll probably get one main event against Cody, get beaten 15 minutes, and then that'll be it. He'll be done.
Very much like the Drew McIntyre thing, which that match sucked at WrestlePlays.
Literally.
But what happened is they didn't build anyone. They stuck from 2013 onwards. The Shield were the last thing that they built to be actual main eventers.
Yes, and you can still say that all three of them
to be a happy little accident.
And all three of them
seems to be a happy little accident because the crowd absolutely hated Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
They loved Seth Rollins, and Dean Ambrose left.
What's up, Nick? Ailes always has nice hair. Although I'm going to put a hat on in a minute. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so that's the thing. If you go back to 2017,
Mm-hmm.
Randy Orton won that Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
A guy who was already made and already there. And I remember at the time, and I wasn't even like that critical of wrestling back then, but I was like, it was about the time that I was starting my blog, which is long gone, by the way, so don't go looking for it.
Damn.
I was like, okay, cool, but does Orton need this?
No.
And since then, you could look at all the Rumble winners just about and go, but did they need it? All the Money in the
Yeah.
Bank winners, did they need it?
Mm.
Now, Big E's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Big E's
Yes.
genuinely unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
Corbin, they obviously wasted the case. Seth Rollins won it most recently. Did he need it?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, because even someone who's old but screen fresh, like LA Knight, would have felt better.
Would have done.
Just going to the predicted old formula.
Yeah.
You know, Drew McIntyre won it the year before, so they could continue the cash-in stuff. Like,
Exactly.
these guys are already made. You're not making anyone.
You could say the last winner to do it, and well, you saw what happened to his win, but Austin Theory, look what happened to him.
Yeah.
They mugged him out that much that he won a mid-card title.
So this show was so boring to me last night. We watched first 30, 40 minutes. Then we're like, we didn't see anything we wanted to watch on this show.
Yeah.
Define star. By star, what I mean is the folk that get the people to watch the wrestling. When Roman Reigns is announced for SmackDown, there is a noticeable increase, not in the TV rating, because generally that's in the toilet, across the board for wrestling, but in social media interest. And I know you hate it, but you got to look at it because that's like your modern day rating.
It is.
So they announce Cody for a show and it goes up. They announce Roman's going to make an appearance and it goes up. They announce Punk and it shoots through the roof.
Mm-hmm.
You announce Braun Breaker right now and folk go, yeah, he's part of the roster. Even Gunther as world champion wasn't drawing.
Exactly.
He was not, and he will not be, and I think it's because America's racist. He won't be a megastar. Braun Breaker might. Dominic might.
Fortune. Yeah. They're lucky though. They have something that Gunther doesn't have, unfortunately.
Yeah. But can you honestly see a world where people are tuning in to their WWE TV each week?
Yeah.
Because Dominic Mysterio's on it.
No, I don't.
And that's the worry.
I feel like that will only I think Dominic Mysterio is a definition of sell-by date. Like, he has that sell-by date of how long is it going to genuinely last, and there's no chance he goes longer than. And this is not saying he sucks or anything. I seriously just don't care about Dominic Mysterio in that circumstance. I don't, but I'm not tuned in to watch it from him. Like, it's not a circumstance. You can draw well in certain areas, but it's TV that really matters, and he doesn't get. If you look at the rating for the segments, he doesn't get high-rated segments.
So next, put that list in for who he thinks was stars. Cody 40, Roman 40, Punk 46, Rollins 40, Jey Uso 40, and Cena's a non-factor because he's literally announced his retirement this year.
Exactly.
So he is also almost 50. That's the problem, though, Nick. That's the issue. You don't have who's the star. Oh, there's this 32-year-old at the top of his game.
Yeah.
AEW, you might think, are slightly better placed because their world champion's 34 years old.
But it doesn't answer the question.
But who's gonna?
Yeah.
AEW have the same obstacle as Impact, whether you like it or not.
Love that
AEW
quantifier. Love that comment. He is a wanker.
AEW do not have the. They don't have the pull. They will not have the stars on the level where people just hear the song and know who they are. See something pop culture related. You could look at something like The Simpsons.
Mm.
If The Simpsons went to Samoa,
Yeah.
and this might be an episode, so I stopped watching like a decade ago, so forgive me. But if Roman Reigns was on an episode of The Simpsons, it would draw.
Annoyingly.
They're not putting Braun Breaker in The Simpsons.
No.
They're not putting Braun Breaker on Serial. They're not putting Gunther on Saturday Night Live.
Absolutely not. The crowd will fall asleep. Which is harsh, but it's a reality. They'll fall
Your
asleep because it's
star.
the way he is.
If they announced CM Punk was going to be on Saturday Night Live next week, that show would go berserk. I mean, maybe not because it's New York and he's a Chicago guy, but generally, wrestling fans
still
would go
want to see it.
insane for it. They would go insane for it.
Mm-hmm.
Evidenced by the fact that obviously Sabrina Carpenter's just announced that she's doing it. That show has gone insane with ratings because of it, like insane with the hype.
I'll answer your question there, Maria. Who cares about Serial? Millions.
What it's not about being on the Serial, it's about what that means. As a kid, Reece, so we're going back 40 years, so I'm sorry. But always got to get that jab in. You know?
I am old, so yeah.
But as a kid, would you see wrestling on? So one of the weird ones that I always remember, right?
I saw Kurt Angle in a pizza commercial, and I saw The Rock on the. As a 4-year-old, I watched the Microsoft announcement with The Rock and Bill Gates. I watched the announcement of the Xbox.
I think I bought it. So I think my mum bought it out in like Tenerife or Lanzarote or something. Okay. I had a Rey Mysterio towel.
Yeah.
It was red, it had 619 on it, and it had the cross like the mask design. It was a towel.
Mm-hmm.
Because these people and their symbols and the way that they are and the way they carried themselves and the songs and the catchphrases and slogans and the logos, they were big enough that they transcended wrestling and entered pop culture.
I used to have when I was younger, I used to have similar to that, but it had The Rock's face on it. And I had rock duvet, rock pillow set when I was younger. I had a Sting one. And also like I had there was something else that I had. I can't remember what it was. Oh yeah, I had a Undertaker wallet when I was younger. My first wallet was an Undertaker wallet.
So if you want someone to be a star, the process takes time. Yeah, I understand that. My concern is they're currently at step 0.
And they're not taking the plunge.
With their roster at step 5.
Mm-hmm.
The WWE roster now needs an influx of 30-year-olds.
Oh, that's what I'm forgetting. I used to have a Bret Hart Simpsons toy. I had a Bret Hart Simpsons toy when I was younger. That's what I was forgetting.
Yeah, like because they were everywhere, because they were stars, and obviously, like even the generation of wrestlers that are outgoing now are not as popular as the ones that went, and this is a problem that continues to repeat itself, and it will keep repeating itself. But the guys, so WWE are at like step 0, where they're just establishing to us, this is Braun Breaker, this is Gunther, Dragunov when he comes back, this is Jacob Fatu.
Yeah.
The roster's at step 5.
Like they're already aware
of the come down. If you imagine it like, that chart you get when you're telling a story. Braun Breakers at the beginning of this. You CM Punk, your Seth Rollins, your Roman Reigns, your John Cena, your AJ Styles, your Randy Orton. They're at the end of this. Sami Zayn's at the end of it. Who's in the middle? Who's currently ready to step up?
This is why I go back to what I said
Because
earlier
if they're
on.
not, you're talking about a process that takes 5 years. The roster has 2 left.
Zayn is Nick, honestly.
Hmm.
And yeah, what WWE did to Rich Holland was, I don't like Rich Holland at all, but what did happen with his release whilst he got injured whilst his contract expired, or his contract expired and he was injured at that point, not getting paid for it, is horrible. You can call in if you want,
other than Nick, jump on in.
Yeah, you're more than welcome.
We'd love to discuss this.
I think the situation where we're at in wrestling is now, and I stand by what I said earlier on, when I used the example of an era that stands out, and it's in contrast, is no one is, I don't think, unless someone really has the grip and the grit to just go, you know what, I'll take the wrestling business on the back of my shoulders and I'll carry it. No one in the wrestling business has the balls. And it says a lot that Toni Storm has got bigger balls than all of them, because she's the one that's carrying the wrestling business for the women as a whole. Like, it's not as direct and as strong as it used to be.
Yeah.
And that's what I stand on. Hold on.
You all right, Nick? How you getting on?
That's better.
Good. How you doing? So I want to. So my point is that it's all a long process, because who we see in the mid card, and I remember literally, Rikishi told me this 15 years ago when I interviewed him, and he's like, "You don't get it because you're young." He's like, "But you're gonna see it. Wrestling is cyclical." Because I was like, "Oh, why aren't you in the main event all the time?" He's like, "Everything is cyclical, and what's gonna happen is you're in the main event today, but in a year you're in the mid card. You see it. Look at Bryan Danielson in WWE. How many times he won the title, then he went back to the mid card as the Intercontinental Champion to add prestige to that, right?" It's the same thing. Triple H 100% believes in the attitude era of building people up, which I don't necessarily agree with. I get it that they go through the mid card and they go through the steps in the process. So my point in this is it's a pipeline. It's a feeder system. I get where you're saying it, that all these stars aren't in their 30s. But the reality of it is they won't be, because they're building them up to get there. And that the stars that you see now are the ones they're going to be putting over the ones that are in their 30s. Like LA Knight, Jey Uso, they're not there yet to get to that point. And I don't think Jey Uso is a star by any means, but what I'm saying is he draws. And if you're talking about by your standard of star, he draws a ton everywhere he goes.
Jey Uso is also 40, and LA Knight's older than that.
Right, but that's what I'm saying is they'll be there. And that's what the guy, like the names that you mentioned that we agreed on, right? CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Cody, they're all in their 40s because they've had a legacy that they've established. It takes years with an S to establish that. And that's my point. Whether you go straight to the main roster or not, you have to come up. Let's just look at like Aleister Black had a great debut, right? He came up that full year. They give him 2-3 months, and you see it. Same thing with Rusev returning. They get 2-3 months of beating up jobbers, getting on an undefeated streak. Then they get their first feud, which everyone knows they're never going to lose. That's another month or two. So you're already into 6 months into their whole career on the main roster. Then maybe you give them a mid-card belt if you give it to them that early. And most people don't necessarily get that. Like Braun Breaker's probably one who got that. So and look at him. Was he in probably month 9 when he got it? He was deep into his run on the main roster at that point in time. So that's my point. Is the names that we're mentioning? It's kind of a loaded question, because the names that we're mentioning, they're going to be multiple time world champions. How many people are going to be multiple time world champions by the time they're in their early 30s? Like, you can name a handful. Randy Orton, you named it, right? Brock Lesnar, like those guys. Those are legendary guys that are going to be Hall of Famers. I don't know who the next crop is, but that's that whole process is what I'm getting at, is they're going to put over somebody. And then in 5 years, they're like, oh man, who's the next? I don't even know. LA Knight. I don't think that's
I understand that. I think the mix is, so first you've got the guys that, okay, so there are three things. There are folk that are aging out of the business. There are folks that are getting hurt out of the business, likes of potentially Kevin Owens and at this point potentially Seth Rollins. If he keeps getting hurt, there will eventually come a time where he just can't do this anymore. What I'm concerned about, and the reason I want to discuss this is, and you're right that it is cyclical, but I feel like there's been a lapse across all of wrestling where we haven't been building these people for the last 5 years or the last 7-8 years.
Yeah.
We haven't been established, and certainly in the last 3 or 4 years, we haven't been establishing the new crop, and we haven't been giving the chances to the current crop, like when they were the new crop. So when LA Knight was at his hottest, we didn't give him the world title. When
Massive.
there were so many irons that were so hot, and WWE didn't strike on them. And AEW are a little bit better in the fact that they will pick up that someone is getting over, and they will be a few months late, but they will do it. Swerve was getting over. They were maybe a little bit late putting the belt on him, but they did it.
I would argue that they might be early, if anything. That's a fair point. I think that's a valid point on that front. But yeah, like they've missed moments. Oh,
I was going to say they missed one because he's just put on his Twitter they might be ready to come back. Jay White, thanks Josiah for that. That's why I was sitting there with that shock on my face, is because Jay White's tweeted that he's ready to return. So everyone knows I'm a mark for Jay White. He's another one. He should have beat one-legged MJF for the world title.
He should have got the belt about 3 years ago, 2 years ago.
Yeah,
he should have gone to WWE. He should have just signed with NXT and let them build him up there. He's perfectly made.
That would have been like an Okada mistake. You don't bring these guys in to put them in NXT. You bring them in to put them on the main roster.
I don't think Jay White would have gotten over. I don't think they would have given him the attention in WWE that makes him that sort of top star. I think he would have been good. I think you're looking at, and again, it's about how you define star, and you would call LA Knight a star, but he wouldn't be world champion. He would be upper mid.
See that whole record reign that Gunther got for the IC title? That's Jay White, by the way. If he actually went there, that record would be his by a mile, because the guy loves the Intercontinental title more than anything on this planet. You ask him that to his face, he'll tell you he loves the Intercontinental title in any promotion. It's like that one title that he would define. Same with Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho is a multi-world champion, but he is defined by the Intercontinental title in New Japan and in WWE.
So that's what I would say to you, Nick, is who now? Because what I'm talking about is talk about a 5-year process, but we've probably got 2 years left, max, of a good 4 or 5 of the largest names in. We'll stick to WWE, but AEW you could include it as well. Kenny Omega's not still going to be working in 5 years. Okada's not still going to be working in 5 years. Jericho obviously not. Edge not. Christian not.
I honestly
probably not.
I honestly think that. Like you mentioned earlier, I think the next star is Dom Mysterio. If they had money in the bank and they put money in the bank on Dom, that would probably rival the pop of him cashing in. Might rival Seth Rollins' pop from WrestleMania. I think it would be that. He is the next megastar. He draws so much. It's insane, and like you can't make him a face yet, a full-on face, because when him cashing in, it's the perfect gimmick for him.
The problem is, though, and I said this to you on Monday, my problem with Dominic Mysterio as a whole is, and I said my exact words to you were, either Dominic Mysterio is getting all these babyface chants, you either return him babyface now, where it works, or you do something where you keep him a fully fledged heel, because he can't be a tweener. He hasn't got the look for it. He hasn't got the feeling of he has to be a babyface or a heel. And he keeps getting too many of these chants. They have to kill it one way or another.
Fans have so much to do with that, though, these days. Like, the fans will cheer the heel.
They have to kill it. I know. They have to find a way
Honestly,
to make it so incredibly unwatchable as a heel.
Go ahead, Nick.
no,
Go ahead.
look at MJF though. Like everyone knows he's a heel, but if you do it well, it doesn't. Like Eddie Guerrero,
I bet
he was over
We've
because
been-
that was
we-
the deal.
to be fair, Eilidh's been saying on the channel for about 2.5 years consistently. She likes MJF, but even she says MJF is a heel. The guy's a fanny. Because it's the way he acts. Like he dives too much into the comedy shit and it ruins the idea of being a heel. And it's okay to be a bit of a comedy. It's not a bad thing.
I don't
It's
think
okay.
it's just
But he tries too much to be that when he should be that one guy. Like the way he turned heel when he started the Pinnacle, when he turned heel at the Pinnacle. To be fair, I celebrated that full gear because he fucked over Cody Rhodes, right? But it was a good thing. But I'm like, this could be something good. You've got potentially right here. They're young star, but they're going to build him. It took him so long to get to the world title, which was great. They built him up. The minute he won the world title, he screwed over William Regal, who helped him. He screwed over Bryan Danielson, the guy he looked up to. He rubbed all hands to do with CM Punk, another guy he looked up to as well, which was phenomenal. He mugged off Kenny Omega to become the record champion. He did all of that whilst being a guy who took no one seriously. He would mug them off like little cheap one-liners, but he always maintained the heel. Like, look at the
Reece. The best example though is look at kayfabe fully alive, right in the 80s, 90s, early 90s, maybe. Ric Flair. How many women just went nuts over Ric Flair, and he was the biggest heel. Look at all those promos that he cut, and that's the point. Is like if you're good, whether you're kayfabe, face, or heel. And I think that's what people recognize with MJF. And it's like same thing with like Jericho back in the day was doing like the list. Like you're just good, you're entertaining, and that's people are going to cheer you. They're still buying your merch.
I'm not saying, and I'm not saying in a way to degrade the talent. What I'm saying is, I like when they do like the cheap shit. There's elements where the cheap shit really is important, but if you're not booked on television as that type of heel, then you shouldn't act like that. Like the amount of times I've slagged off Roman Reigns, deservedly so, on this channel over the past couple of years is warranted, because every time he did the cheap comedic shit, it made me even more annoyed with. You're meant to be this all-conquering guy who lays the law on everybody. If you come out and make a joke about someone, I'm sorry, but that doesn't tie in, and that just makes me angrier. And I'm like, that's not it. Like,
I guess the other problem you talk about, the women were tuning in for Ric Flair. They'll tune in for Dominic Mysterio. They just want to see someone who looks good be a dick. My problem there is the fact that you've got this ever shrinking viewer base.
I'm loving this conversation, by the way. This is
awesome. Because you have an ever shrinking viewer base, and it will reach a bottom. We just don't know what it is.
Yeah,
there's not going to be the eyes on it. There aren't the eyes on Dominic Mysterio. There aren't the eyes on a Braun Breaker or a Gunther or whatever. Okay. And the eyes that are watching now are watching for Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, John Cena, and there's no one. You know what I mean?
The answer to that is simple, though, and here's why. And it's what's the word I want to use? Desensitization. And you're like you see so much violence on TV, you get desensitized by it. It's the same thing. We're actually maybe oversaturation is probably the word I should use. The market itself, I think maybe a little bit of both.
You could use both. Both. Yeah, you could use both.
But simply forget. Let's not even dive into the amount of wrestling and promotions that there is already. That's like another layer. But just look, cable providers alone. How many channels? Like I have, our cable. It's like over 300, for the Optimum, whatever we got, and it's just like there's so many options. So when we're talking about mainstream and right, how many The Rock, right, and Hulk Hogan, right, became mainstream because they were doing movies and everything else, and that brought that attention to wrestling that built the stars up. Nowadays, there's so many options that you could change a channel, and there's sci-fi. The next channel, there's Cartoon Network. Like Edge got nominated for an Emmy or something. It's like. The guy, really? What was he? I didn't even know he was on a show that he could get nominated for.
Vikings.
Yeah, But like that's my point. Is like, yeah, like there's small, but that show, like, and when you reverse time back to like, I'm a little bit older than both of you, but like when Nikki and I grew up, like it was literally you only had your 30, 40, 50 channels of cable that you could see. So like WWE and WCW, so those stars, like you're gonna know those guys, and when they cross over into Baywatch or whatever shows on TNT, TBS, it changes the game for them and makes them much more marketable.
So what does it say for the spotlight of wrestling itself? And to borrow a different sporting analogy, I've got a framed Arsenal shirt over on that wall over there, right? Arsenal are like it gets caught on like people film it. They show up to the ground, and before the game or at halftime, the guy that does the music at Arsenal likes to play wrestling themes. And it's either like during halftime or it's as the players walk out. Because there was a clip of, I think it was last season, towards the end of it, the Arsenal team walked out to Roman Reigns' theme. The week before that, they were walking out to the game.
They walked out to them. They walked out to This Fire Burns as well.
And that's because wrestling. Yeah, wrestling. Those guys were popular enough, and wrestling was popular enough that it transcended wrestling itself. And these things, and you would hear them, and you would think about those things. And my concern is that in the next couple of years, it won't be the current guys that will have those themes played. People will still play Cult of Personality and Roman Reigns theme in the game, and
Cult of Personality is an unfair assessment to use. That's not fair to use that song.
Yeah, that's a great song anyway. But like songs that were like specifically
Goldberg's. Well, here's an example, but you can really use. It's still popular to this day, and it came out 25 years ago. People still listen to Rollin'. People still listen to Limp Bizkit. Because
I think Limp Bizkit might just actually like have a bass. So I'm talking about songs that, like,
but they still the specific songs are still there. You know what I mean? They're still
like just themes that
It's like I know Motorhead have a lot of fans.
So,
but the game is not your favorite Motorhead song,
right?
Not. You know the game because of Triple H.
So my, I don't know if this is a retort to that. So like some of the themes that like I think about, right? Like like Undertaker's theme, you got like Goldberg. A lot of those are character driven too. Like I think to some extent, like Bray Wyatt's theme might be something like the original. When he came back, the Lantern theme. Like I think something like that, like might definitely be remembered.
But that's only to.
Oh,
it is.
Rose.
4 people was enough, and it's easy. I mean, what does it take to break Reese's internet?
No, my internet's fine.
Reece, pay your bills.
Anyway, welcome on in, Temple. What do you want to say about it, Temple?
What we're talking about? What we are talking about?
We're talking about. So the problem that I've posed is that WWE are reaching a point where the stars that are on top now will all retire in a couple of years, and they've not got anyone to fill the gap.
Because that's because the creative has not got a brain cell to do it, because they've got young talent in WWE. They just don't know how to do it, do they? So
they've never done it. They've fed these guys to the establishment.
I can name 3, 4 at best.
Mm-hmm. And that's my concern.
Bron Breakker, Jacob Fatu, Obi Femi, Trick Williams, Carmelo Hayes, maybe.
Oh no!
No.
I feel like Camelo's not going to go anywhere, and Oba I think is going to be a big bust. I really think Oba's going to be a big bust on the main roster. I just have this weird feeling they're not going to know what the hell to do with this character, and I don't know.
It's not going to translate.
Yeah, I would consider, and that's such
Obi Femi's not a bad speaker. I like his accent.
Omos is just but Oba Femi's just a midget almost.
Have they not pitched those two being
Ahmed Johnson? Ahmed Johnson is who I think of when I think of Boba Fett.
Oh, that's actually
That's
not that bad a comparison.
That's a good comparison. He
Yeah.
was a flop. He was a flop as well.
Ahmed Johnson should have had such a great
Why don't they
career.
put? I'm just going to mess around now and just be a laugh. Why don't they just put Obafemi, Apollo Crews, and Omos together and just call them the NWO?
God.
The Nigerian World Order? No?
Oh, God. I don't know. That might not PC. I mean, I don't know.
I don't think that's going to work. But then again, is it much different to Latino World Order? You know?
It depends what colors the merch.
It's just the cultural
already
appropriation.
Or
of
you know
it.
what they could do?
different
They
part of the world.
could put R-Truth with them and then just change the letter and call it NWA and let them rap like the group.
Omos should be like a bodyguard type of guy.
Yeah.
I liked him when he was like with AJ Styles or Finn Balor. Do something with Omos.
This
like
guy-
that.
This
Like a
guy
bodyguard.
almost literally walked into Japan, became a tag team champion, became popular with the Japanese crowd. WWE went, "No, fuck you, off you come."
And then did
You can come
nothing
back
with
to
him after he came back.
They scorpion get back over here.
Omos could be
Is that-
like
is it like-
Pablo Farley to Prince Devitt back in the day. Omos.
He could, yeah.
Right,
A tag team champion became popular.
He's a massive dude, though.
Mm.
Like,
I still think Eilidh's right though.
Have you heard what Jacob Fatu's away because of something personal? Apparently, I read.
Yeah.
It's a non-related. It's a non-wrestling related injury. So he's probably knocked someone up.
Have we covered
again,
it
it feels
last
like
night?
so who-
is he the one who's got like 12 kids?
I
I
know
think it is.
Rikishi's
Yeah,
got at least
Jacob's got
15.
12 kids. Yeah. He's got
Yeah, no,
loads
I
of-
think Jacob's got like
Yeah, but that
something like-
family's got tons of kids, though, hasn't it? That family's got loads of kids.
No,
Yeah,
he is injured though, Matt. He is injured. Like, no idea what his injury is, but he is injured.
Have you covered last night's Dynamite yet?
I was supposed to go to a show later this month, but we had to move our show. But like, we were supposed to be Journey Fatu is going to be there.
Al Carter in a second. Oh shit! Wrong button.
Actually, both Journey and Zilla Fatu are going to be at the show I was supposed to go to.
Oh shit! I pressed
That's
the wrong
Zilla's-
button.
Sorry,
That's-
I believe
that's Zilla.
the Dynamite
Dickhead.
review is to follow. But yeah, that's basically just, you know.
Honestly,
what I was
I'm tempted just to do Dynamite tomorrow. I'm actually just preferring this conversation. I'll just do Dynamite tomorrow.
Well, I've got to head in about 5 minutes.
Then
again,
we'll
it's
carry on then. Yeah.
the typical. But you know,
It won't take- it won't take long anyway.
carry on in my spirit and all that. But yeah, no, I suppose that's just my concern. I just feel like there's no one ready to actually like step up.
It's why I think this is equivalent of the ending of the golden generation, start of the new gen, where they were trying to find talent, but there was a cool down on enjoyment of wrestling. You had good wrestlers,
problem
but
is that,
nobody was fully invested.
The problem is they do have the talent, but creative have not got a clue. They've got the young
Creator
stars.
keep
It's not just
going
the
back
creative.
to the proven draw rather than taking a
Yeah.
risk.
That's the thing. But even if they do, here's another thing as well. We haven't factored in.
Still think that this from break
Even if-
return to Seth Rollins is a bit too soon for me.
Oh, it is.
Me.
My big
Too soon for me.
on
Why
the
don't
back
get
of what you've just
established
said there.
quicker? Oh, you done.
On the
It's
back
been
of what you just said there, here's another thing. You can take a risk, but if you're taking a risk, are the talent also taking a risk as well and trying to put themselves out there? Because some of them, when you look at them, some of them are definitely not. Like, they seem too scared. Like, the whole
Maybe they're not given the, you know, in WWE, you stick out too much, you're getting punished.
Yeah.
You know, you rise higher than they've got you planned. This isn't the yes movement anymore. The
Yeah.
fans can't just. And again, I think that comes back to what we were talking about on an earlier show, Reece, where we were talking
If I
about.
was a
how-
booker and I was an owner of a promotion and the fans was like, give me this, give me that, I'd be like, not really, I don't want, no, no.
Yeah,
No.
which is kind of like that's the
Power is not
position
as
they're
big
in.
as you
But it's because WWE is for the few who can afford to have it now, and it's become this premium thing.
Yeah.
they don't take the risks. They just kind of play the old hits. And those old hits are genuinely old now. Like, not just like tired in terms of stage age and like presence, but
How-
they are actually retiring. And
How much of that
there's
is
no
influenced
one-
by TKO? Like, I wonder if you know what I mean. Like some of these guys,
Not
right?
as
Like
much.
even like they want like there's some people like the proven names, right? Like Cody's still back at the top of the card, which we kind of were like, whatever. Like Roman, like is a proven like name in wrestling over the last decade, right? For them, they want. I mean, for what it's worth, they brought Lesnar back because they wanted that. Like, I feel like a lot of that is TKO is pulling the strings for the legitimacy. Like I wouldn't be surprised if Ronda Rousey shows up in the next year or two.
Well,
The thing
TKO
is,
did
like-
allow The Rock to appear until he
You know what
couldn't.
you know what WWE should do? You should have like a veteran like Randy Orton, and have young stars with him. In my opinion, like Austin Theories, the guy
It
in
would
NXT,
It would work like a
around
new
Randy Orton.
legacy.
Yeah,
But I suppose that's what they're trying with the vision. But now they've just blown it up. And
I saw.
And
when
Bronson
we saw
Reed's
the vision,
not
it's
that
called
young.
Injury.
Yeah, Bronson Reed's like older than me.
I mean, is he in his 40s? Because he's had a long career.
I think he's late 30s, 38, 39-ish.
that sounds
Who?
right.
Who?
Bronson Reed is
I'd say it's about 38.
Bronson
39.
Reed. The
37.
amount of people that Bronson Reed.
Okay.
Bronson
Slightly younger
Reed is
than I thought.
But he's
Couple
still
older than me.
beating names that are big in the business. He's beating big names in the business, and he's still not going anywhere.
Look what Bronson Reed did. Look
Where
what
did-
Bronson Reed do in New Japan. He beat Okada.
Yeah, but that
Yes,
that
that
I'm saying that
character is not gonna like those main like 350 400-pound guys like the Mark Henrys of the world. They don't really get that push all that often. It's really
they've already
like
established.
few and far between.
And Bronson Reed is going to be the Tucker of heavy machinery.
Like this
But
is
if you've got a
exactly
brain
what.
cell, you'd think that he'd be like a Bam Bam Bigelow.
Yeah, but they will split the vision up, and they will forget about Bronson Reed, and Braun Breaker will be the shiny toy.
Toy.
Now, of course, the comparison I just made makes Otis the shiny toy, but it does. He won Money in the
Yeah.
Bank. Like, they were trying something with him.
True. The thing
Well,
about
there's always going to be one
the thing
breakout
is,
star,
and this
right?
is the
Yeah, but
The
like,
problem with WWE, right? If you get over on your own, you get punished. Really, don't you?
yeah,
Is that-
exactly. That's
Yeah.
because creative were like, oh, we didn't have that planned. You're
Yeah, but
not
that wasn't
appearing on
the,
TV for
that was
weeks,
in
and
the Vince McMahon era, wasn't it? Basically,
yeah, and
that.
now
That's
you're
another
going to
thing
be
as
a
well.
chef in a backstage segment that gets super kicked. Oh, great! Cheers for that.
yeah.
End of my push.
The other
Like,
thing
you
is,
know,
and this is the thing. This is the thing we're forgetting about as well, and this is another problem. You mentioned someone like Bronson Reed, for example. Paul Heyman, the fat slob, has already ruined Bronson Reed because he told them he was only recruited to win Australian street fights. His words. We signed this guy because he wins Australian street fights.
yeah, and I even think that Paul Heyman's an example.
He's aged badly, and he needs to be off TV.
But like,
Really?
he keeps showing up with so he keeps showing up with new people. His entire year's confusing now.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was with Roman, he was with Punk, then he wasn't with Punk, he wasn't with Roman, he's suddenly with Seth, and now the guys that Seth aligned with turned. But he was already saying that if Seth didn't win, we were turning on him anyway. So Paul Heyman just does what Paul Heyman does. But
Yeah.
he keeps showing up with new people, and you're like, oh, great, it's the latest Paul Heyman
Those are
guy.
teenage years.
But that's
Dave,
his
like,
character.
Dave's
Is he's but his character is that he's always been the guy to turn on his guy before his guy leaves him. So like it's just preemptive. So everything and to the point, like he was with Roman, but like he really wasn't because it was Roman and Punk, and everyone's like, oh, where is his allegiances lie? So like those months,
He was
he
with
really
Roman for the whole title reign, though.
Oh yeah. I mean, bloodline stuff, yeah. But I'm talking like the last year, he really was kind of like,
Yeah, but
Another thing as well.
one, why
Paul
was
also
he?
distinguishes
And
himself.
two, what does that do for anyone? They were already main eventers. Paul Heyman did not need to be fucking involved in the main event of night one of WrestleMania.
Well, because
No,
yeah,
he
he
did
did.
not.
Because the whole situation, the storyline was that Roman left him after he lost to Cody.
Yeah,
and then he
but
left
why
him.
did that story become about Paul Heyman and not the fact that Roman hated Seth hated Punk, Roman hated Seth, and therefore Punk hated Roman because Roman was trying to get Seth before Punk did.
Wait, do that again?
To be fair, we also forget as well that
So the
it
story
is
was
true. Like
Seth absolutely loathed CM Punk.
Right.
Punk and Roman tensions started around War Games
Yeah, the
because
jealousy of
Heyman
Paul
called
Heyman.
in the favor to get Punk on the team.
Right.
Punk's hatred of Seth was rivaling Roman's hatred of Seth. So
Yeah,
Roman starts hating Punk because Punk's trying to get to Seth
proxy.
before Roman does, and he's trying to call that
No.
shot.
Well, he's trying. They're both trying to get the Seth,
Huge.
but Punk uses Heyman, who Roman views as his guy. That was what
The
upset him.
wise
at one
man, or
point.
the
Yeah.
article.
it goes over Roman's head. It goes
Yeah.
over Roman's head to the 40 figure he's got.
Yeah, I
behind him.
understand that, but then why did it become like Heyman was the title?
Because
And not
Heyman
to
is
mention,
an advantage. He's an asset to everybody. Like they know, and that's the thing, and that's why Punk called that favor in, because Heyman in your corner is such an asset that's what you would want.
It's the fact that both those main events this year came down to outside interference, and if you're going to do outside interference on night two, which no one actually wanted, don't do the outside interference on night one. I feel like, especially because this was already 3 main eventers, and it would have been better if the 3 of them had just had a match, because now the entire stuff with the Vision means nothing because they've just blown it up before it was even really anything.
yeah,
Seth Rollins' injury legit,
that's
or do you
true.
think it's another one of those works again?
Well,
If he works it again,
I
they
think
can
he is.
call.
I think he is.
well, no. So my thinking on
I-
this is that like it seems very soon, but the idea too is that like that whole group, the group's not Evolution. It's not like the 4 Horsemen. It's 3 unique main eventers, or the
I
current
don't like it when
face,
fans do that. Oh, it's
the
Seth
current
Rollins,
face of WWE,
Evolution
Seth
2.0.
Rollins, right?
It's the legacy.
And then you have the future face and
Spot
Braun
on, Glenn.
Breaker and
And
Bronson Reed.
the
I think-
other guy, Bronson Reed. Yeah.
Yeah. and that's and I think the idea is that they all were supposed to elevate to the top, and that's where there's only one title, so only one person can get there. And I think that's the idea, is that if not everyone's going to be the face of WWE or the future face, so how can you have Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker as your faces in your group, like the future? So I think that was what was going to happen, is that eventually all 3 were going to go their separate ways because the title would consume them, and they would realize.
It's like in Judgment Day. They had 2 main eventers in Judgment Day, and that's probably why they got split up or turned on each other. Like Finn Balor and Damian Priest, technically the main eventers, aren't they?
They
And that's
could
probably
be.
why
They
turned
could
on
be
each
for
other.
any other
Same with
promotion.
the Vision. People think Braun Breaker's the future. He is. Seth Rollins is the top guy. Bronson Reed's there on his own. That's probably why they took.
I think the problem is, this is the problem, and I think this is actually what's stemming us in the face, is WWE has actually allowed so many different labels or terms to a talent, and instead of actually showing why they are XYZ, they've went opposite. They've went the complete opposite.
Yeah, and the last point
That's
I would
actually
make,
a-
because
that's a
it's
issue.
going to look ridiculous. So let's think about the Crown Jewel thing. The Crown Jewel thing, when it came up like the tail of the tape, and it was like one person's had 14 titles, one person's had 18 titles. One, like, they've both won the Royal Rumble X number of times, you know? Like, they were comparing these 2. If we go forward,
Exactly.
like 3 years, that tail of the tape could be 1 world title each. No Rumble wins.
Yep.
Maybe 1 Money in the
Yeah.
Bank between the 2 of them. I mean, if Gunther's in it, then, you know, you've got 2 world titles. Cool, whatever, cool. He'd be on 3. You're not going to have that because you haven't been building someone in their 30s now. So it's going to be, they're going to have to like rebrand to the point where it's like we have this whole new, hungry, like fresh crop of talent, because they can't put like a Seth Rollins in a main event in 2027 to do the crown jewel match where they can talk about how he's had 20 titles or anything like that.
Yeah,
It'll be this guy's had 2, this guy's had 4. This is a great match, you know.
But to your
like,
point,
oh,
you can't be a multiple time champion until you've had it once. So like that's why you're like, oh yeah, like Gunther, yeah, because Gunther just had the belt, right? Like so, like he could go and run it back,
Yeah.
and then
he is the one.
Shit.
He is the one though.
No, but we said Jey Uso too. Jey won the belt, like, and then you know his next time he'd be a multiple time champion. But like that's the thing, you have to have no one, anyone that we've talked about, right? How many people already, like the ones that we say are the next stars, they've all, or at least have a shot. They've all been world champion at least once, right? You talk about Gunther, Jey Uso, right? Except for Dom Mysterio. Dom's the only person. Yeah, and Braun.
Technically, I mean, Dominic Mysterio technically is a world champion now by default. The AAA Mega Championship is a world title, so technically.
And some of the guys that I think are the future, they're not even getting a snap. Like Tyler Bate should have been pushed 4 years ago. He should have come out of that match for Chicago and been used in the mid card.
But didn't he have a lot of injuries though?
I don't think he did.
I feel like because Nikki, my wife's like obsessed with him for some reason. And I feel like she told me about him being injured.
Killing it. Him and Trent were
Anyways,
killing it as well.
You'll have to enjoy the rest of the conversation without me. I will have to check out. I mean, we've nearly made it to 2 hours, but I'm gonna have to duck out just now. So enjoy the topic in my absence, and well, I'll catch you for a show soon.
Absolutely. Predictions is this weekend, by the way.
Go. I will. Well, if it's Sunday, I'm not around. If it's Saturday, I should be able to do something.
It's Saturday.
Reece, when are you going live on Saturday?
Oh, for AEW? Yeah, okay. Yeah, cool. No worries.
When are you guys both going live for Saturday?
Probably about 7 our time, 7 p.m.
What's that?
Around about that time, 6, 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're trying to do 4 Eastern, whatever that is.
Well, yeah, Mercedes won another belt, apparently. Christ, no, man.
Predictions are cancelled. No, it's not. You don't make that fucking power. You don't have that. I will take that off you right now.
Okay, Reece. So you're going live at 2 p.m. my time. Awesome. So yeah, hopefully be able to chime in on both.
Yeah.
With that comment about how many multiple title reigns somebody's got, I'd rather have one title reign with so many days.
I would.
Temple,
actually,
who's
I
the
would
picture
mind multiple world title runs. Shun Skywalker.
Shun Skywalker.
Yeah.
Too bad Roy Sheen's not here, because then I can wind up Roy Sheen with.
He's a really good wrestler. You go watch some Dragon Gate or Dragon Gate. That's where it's from.
Yeah, but yeah, if all things are true, I'm hoping that very soon we will see the return of Jay White. But I wouldn't mind if I wouldn't mind being a multi-time champion if they were all good. Oh, she is here. That's funny. It's good to be a multi-time champion if they're all good lengthy reigns. If you're a multi-time champion, they're absolutely short. Then fuck that.
Yeah.
So John Cena's
like
a 17
9 of Cena's title reigns are short.
He's lost it 16 times then.
But yeah, but that's the thing though. Like you're not gonna even like I'm not talking about like an R-Truth like 24/7 47,000 time champion, but like because that obviously diminishes the reign. But like if you have like the whole point about being a star, it's like like one time champion you could say is a fluke. Like, but when we're talking about stars, like it's going to be more than likely someone who's a multiple time champion. And that's
Gunter when he was the NXT UK title, he had that fucking title for ages, and then the Intercontinental.
Yeah, it just but like I think a lot of like
I don't think it's
the names. It's like a loaded question because a lot of the names, like like no one's going to have any sort of like half the credibility, maybe half the credibility of Seth Rollins at this point in time, because Seth Rollins is how many multiple time world champion, like all those accolades. You only have one, how many title changes every year you could get. So like it's a really good topic. It's just like I think a lot of it is kind of an unfair assessment because, like, like a guy like a Bronson Reed, like, they're not going to have that opportunity unless they've been.
We were saying though, but what we were saying in effect until you came in. To be fair, you actually came at an opposite talking point, which is actually a really good thing. If you look at what we were saying in the build up to that entire conversation, we're not talking about like, oh, you need to be XYZ age to be the main event, or you need to be like the establishment. We're looking at what the main roster could be in the next. Absolutely, it's a process. No one's discounting that, but like, where's it going to be next 5-6 years? Because what Eilidh was saying is, there's so much of the main roster that's at the very end where they're supposed to be the top guys. How far back is supposed to be the next generation? And the next generation might not even be what's behind it. It could be 2 or 3 down the line because they're not prepared. This is why I don't think NXT is good, because NXT is actually failing the up-and-coming divisions because no one's getting past one spot. You're stuck.
Right. No, it's a good point. But the other thing, too, though, is that like you only have so many spots that you could get to. Like, you know, if you're not put like, and that's my point, is like you can only win. They're only booked to win so many matches. There are only so many titles, so you have to like really play with what you're given. And that's where my issue is. I feel like you if you really want someone to have a legit, like, because like we're talking about, like, yeah, you could win the belt. We could have 5 different title reigns in title changes in a matter of the next 3 months, and then everyone would say, well, the North American or X title is BS, and then all the reigns mean nothing, and that's the tough part of it is that
in a second, this might
you have to.
It might not get hit, but let's see how it goes. Right, if I was right in every single company, there's a mid card, there's a world champion, there's a women's division, tag division. In my opinion, not everyone should be pushed at the same time. Fans out there want everyone to be pushed at the same time. I've worked in real life wrestling promotions in Liverpool over here in the UK, and I would rather put over people or be a jobber, quote unquote, than a world champion, mid card, or a tag team guy. Every promotion has to set rules. So if all the fans out there are saying, oh, let's push this guy, let's push this woman, let's push this tag team, not everyone in WWE needs to be pushed. Everyone in a wrestling company needs that top guy, mid-card, tag team, women's guy, women's woman, a jobber, somebody who puts over people.
You have your role. And
you have your role.
But that's the problem.
I think this is another thing, though. This is the thing we talk about roles, and this is another thing I've got an issue with, is I think on a bad side, I think a lot of talents at times are misprofiled, and they're misinterpreted as, well, you could be a mid-carder, but actually no, that person's actually a main eventer. But then the main eventer they've then put in that slot is actually the enhancement talent, or they're actually a mid-carder themselves, potentially upper mid-card. There's a lot of misprofiling in wrestling, and I feel like that's something that's actually a major concern, and that's why a lot of people are being pushed in the wrong way, when actually there's people who are on the right side that actually are the ones that should be pushing. This is not just a one company thing. AEW does this wrong. New Japan have done it wrong, hence why Shota Umino's in main events a lot, which he doesn't deserve. TNA do it a shitload as well, which pisses me off. Like, everyone does it, and there's no need. And when you miss it,
fans who keep saying, "Oh, let's push this person," and then they want somebody else to push. It's like, not everyone needs to be pushed. Not every single one person.
Well, and if you want it to be a legitimate push, you have to, give them opponents. People, like, someone has to win, someone has to lose. You have to what adds legitimacy to someone becoming a star? Like, belts, titles, and the only way to do that is to make the title prestigious by giving people who have the belt a legitimate reign and things like that. So, and that's time that works against everything. And like, time is everyone's enemy, right? Like, you want to have a legitimate reign. Gunther, right? Use Gunther as a great example. Well, you want him to have a legitimate reign. He had the belt for a year, like the Intercontinental title for a year, right? Like, a legitimate reign, and that's just in the mid card. So that's a year right there off his career now that you're talking about. All right, well, who's the next star? Well, he's not a main eventer. He's not the face yet, but he's spent how much time just in the mid card already in 2-3 years, just building himself up there before you.
Probably because he wants to probably elevate that mid card. So when he goes into the world title scene, he's already elevated the mid card, and then that's why Dom's there to more elevate it into when he goes into the world title picture.
And that's my point. Is the process.
This is why, like, this is why I've got a lot of respect for certain talents that actually mean a lot. So, like, I mentioned Jay White earlier on. Jay White did the exact same thing that Nakamura did 7 years prior. He went through everything, but he still ensured the mid-card division for New Japan was strong. To the point where the Intercontinental title was main event and ahead of the IWGP World title. TNA the same. Samoa Joe, Christopher Daniels, AJ Styles were running the company in a way where the X Division title was just as big as the TNA World title. But people forget, like, this shit matters. And yet there's others who are just so blind and deluded that they think this is how it works.
I think it was in 1992. I think it was in 1992 in WWE at SummerSlam at Wembley. It was I think
Bret Hart versus
Bulldog and Bret Hart in the main event for the Intercontinental title, wasn't it? I'm sure it was.
Yeah, and where was the WWE title match in the first hour? Ric Flair versus Ultimate Warrior versus Macho Man Randy Savage was in the first hour of the show.
Oh, Reese, you're gonna be upset. I had the chance to meet Ric Flair last week when we got back from our vacation.
Nice.
But I missed it.
Did you tell me you have a last match and die yet?
No, I haven't. I didn't get to go. I got sick, so we didn't get to go. I wanted to go. Cool. Damn. 15 minutes for me. But actually, this is a good time. Josiah,
damn you.
Good seeing you. I gotta pop out. Temple, reach out with you. Reece.
Tell Nick I say hello, and I'll see you on your show tomorrow night, buddy.
Yeah. Everyone, Temple, Josiah, you guys are always welcome to come on.
Yeah, no worries, man.
Nice Nick Club Wrestling on YouTube, folks. He's a good guy. I like him.
There we go.
He's a nice guy.
Royshin said my name, and like Joe Hendry, I appeared.
Okay. Are you supposed to be up there with him? I'm supposed to be at the bottom. Come on, man.
I am a lot better than Joe Hendry, but
what's Reece doing? He's all silent. What's he doing?
Yeah.
shaking my head.
Well, you'll be happy to know I'm a lot better than Joe Hendry. Huh?
His impact on tonight. Oh,
Abdul says he doesn't believe in you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fair enough.
Santana speaks for the first time as champion, so he'll probably get 2 minutes.
You know what? I might not watch it because there's been so much wrestling on this week.
Yeah, literally every day this week there's been wrestling. Yeah.
I'm drained out, man.
And some of it has just been absolute horseshit.
Yeah. So Raw.
But this has been a hell of a show.
I did like last night's AEW, and I didn't like it. The only thing I actually did like last night was that interview with Darby and Moxley. It reminded me of that. It reminded me of like
that was a perfect segment.
The feel of it is everything.
Yeah, I like that segment. Like, yeah, I had a lot of issues with last night's Dynamite, particularly I said at the start of the show. I had an issue with the commentary. The commentary kept making so many mistakes, and I'm like, what the fuck? I'll slag off Michael Cole because Michael Cole's
Tony Schiavone,
Excalibur, and Bryan Danielson were all making mistakes last night on commentary.
No,
they made 12 mistakes in the first 9. True, but but the fact that the AEW commentary made 12 mistakes in the first 95 seconds of the show, that's not good. 12 mistakes. Why does Darby Allin remind me of Spike Dudley? Because Darby Allin also 195 pounds and also get thrown through shit. It looks like
that's a good shout, that Leo. Actually, it's a good shout. That.
Well, Darby Allin and Spike are runts of the business.
Whilst we're here, did either of you see the Noah show today?
Yeah,
because I have a couple of things that I wanted to talk about. Firstly,
I'm happy for Dragon Bane.
Yes. Firstly, I wanted to mention Hiromu Takahashi.
Yeah.
Did he return?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, God's sake.
And have you?
He retained
you
in
heard-
he retained in Dragon Bane beat Galeno.
Have you heard about what Hiromu Takahashi plans to do with this GHC title? Have you?
He wants to.
He broke the record, doesn't he?
He wants to break the record, doesn't he? With
Yeah.
defenses and days or whatever.
I saw that he wants to fight Kanemaru for the belt next.
Oh yeah, because Kanemaru's the GOAT. Yeah.
The record. Yeah. And funny thing is, that's where it all ends.
Yeah.
That's where
And then another big thing that happened is that Inamura, who came back from NXT, Inamura came back from NXT and he pinned Canton.
Who?
Yeah, no, that fucking annoyed me.
Who what?
Yukishi Inamura.
Inamura pinning Kenta. He pinned Kenta.
The guy who went to NXT?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Fucking horrible.
Well, what was it, Alpha Wolf?
And also,
news? What was it, Alpha Wolf news?
None.
Did he just face
There's no
Galano
Alpha
and
Wolf
not
news.
return? He didn't return.
Look, he was in an 8-man tag match.
What was even more funny was the fact that Kaito Kiyomiya managed to get a good match out of Charlie Dempsey.
Yeah.
Well, he's not like his
But
dad.
he
then,
actually-
is he? Great wrestler.
Nothing
not
like
like
his
Charlie.
dad.
Exactly. Yeah. What was outstanding though was the fact that the way that Dragon Bane and Galeno actually acknowledged each other after the match as well. Like the sheer face-off between the two of them at the end was actually brilliant. It's
Did you
just
see
as
my
I think
point?
that,
Did you see
I think that should have been the main event.
yeah, should have been.
Was
What you
Sean
saying, Tim?
Skywalker known before? I'm sure he was. Or was that
Nothing
last
to do
week
with it.
or
He was-
last month or something?
He was on last week. He'll be at the navigation show coming up as well.
What, Shun Skywalker?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, they should have had the national title should have been the main event because Galeno versus Dragon Bane was bigger than any match they had on the show.
Yeah.
I've not yet watched it. I might watch it tomorrow when I've got time.
It's pathetic that the main event.
I don't know what it is about. I don't know what it is about wrestling companies and not being able to put the right thing on last night.
No idea.
They've added more matches to freaking Wrestle Dream, guys.
Oh God.
They have.
Why?
Why do we need an 8-man tag with Orange Cassidy, Roderick Strong, Ishii, Kyle O'Reilly against? Is it the Don Callis family or something? Or the Death
Yeah.
Riders?
I just want to know
See
why
the
we
one-
have to see Orange Cassidy.
You know what I don't see? You know what I don't like as well, and it's not a shame to them. It's good to see more women's matches, but
Yeah, but we only got one last night and one women's segment. Where's our women?
I'm talking about the actual Wrestle Dream. They've added Fit Club to the Wrestle Dream show.
Yeah, but all
Who's
women's
she-
matches go on Collision where no one watches Collision.
Like it's,
No offense.
I mean, they've got right now. You've got three. Sorry, not three. You've got four. You've got four pre-show matches. You've got FTR versus Jet Speed on the pre-show.
Why?
That's a disgrace. That should be on the main card.
You've got Eddie
It
Kingston.
shouldn't even be booked in the first place.
Look, listen to this. I'm not even kidding. This is your pre-show. Then I'll tell you the main card. Right. Your
Do
pre-show. Your pre-show is FTR versus Dax Harwood. Sorry, FTR versus Jet Speed, like all together. Then you've got
Eddie
Eddie.
Kingston and Hook against someone.
Yeah, fat
And then
cunt,
Harley Cameron Willow versus
Divine Vanity, which is
Whatever
shit.
you
And
call
then Roderick Strong and the Conglomeration versus the Death Riders, and that's your pre-show. Your main card is the I Quit match.
Yeah, Moxley
Hang-
and Dow.
Hangman versus Samoa Joe world title. Statlander versus Timeless Tony Storm, the women's world title rematch. Jurassic Express versus the Young Bucks for cash. Kyle Fletcher versus Mark Briscoe for the TNT title. The and there was the TNT because that's a shit show at the minute. AEW World Tag Team titles: Brodito versus Don Callis. Then Jamie Hayter versus Fit Club.
Tekla.
and then Tornado Trios match between the Hurt Syndicate and the fucking Demand. Who cares
What
about
is
this?
Again.
Can I just say something
Again.
about the Demand? Can I just say something about the Demand? They're not in demand.
Yeah.
No,
I don't know why we're doing this again.
No,
They're not in demand.
I don't.
It's
care.
like-
I'll
The
tell you.
only match on this
I'll tell you
card
another
I'm
thing as
really
well.
pleased to see is probably Brodido versus Takeshita and Okada, which
Yeah.
has a story. That's about it.
And even that,
See you
and
later,
even that
Roy.
match, and even that match, I'm only interested in that match to see
Shit.
if Takeshita brings his belts.
If he doesn't bring the IWGP title, I'm going to criticize Tony Khan live on.
I literally don't care about that match. I only care about
That'd be
Takeshita bringing the IWGP title.
That match will be
Oh,
really good.
the only time I care about this if there's story in the match, which is obviously there will be story in that match.
For me, the story isn't those two winning the titles. For me, the story is Takeshita turning on Okada.
Yeah.
Or
the other way
Okada,
around.
or to be fair, Okada doing it, because then you can cement Takeshita as a babyface.
Yeah.
If Takeshita turned on Okada, then Okada's the babyface, and we don't want Okada as a babyface again. He needs
And
to
then you
stay
could do Brodido return and then have the unfortunately the Gates of Energy.
It's like what I said. It's like what I said about like what they should do. Takeshita should go for the Falcon Arrow to win the match. Okada tags it. Okada, instead of tagging, Okada just comes in, hits the Rainmaker, takes the unified title, and leaves. Exactly. Okada should be he's a great babyface, but he's a phenomenal heel.
I think he's
Rainmaker Takeshita and just leave. Oh, I agree. The guy's an absolute
And
heel.
I also have a couple of issues with this card, like the Young Bucks and Jurassic Express match and the Hurt Syndicate and Demand match. Those are matches that don't need to be on this card. They could just be on a regular Dynamite thing.
Yeah,
I get why the Jurassic Express and Young Bucks matches on the card, because it does have story if you look at it really, but it doesn't.
The Broke Bucks versus guy they used to. I still stand by it. They've rushed it. They should have had this build up to Full Gear. Jurassic Express versus the Bucks should have been a Full Gear.
And another thing about this match that doesn't make any sense is didn't Kenny Omega want Kyle Fletcher?
Yes, he wanted them for the TNT title.
So where's this match? Kyle Fletcher, Kenny Omega.
They already advertised Mark Briscoe as the number one contender before Kenny went for Fletcher. To be fair,
and also Kenny's not fit enough to actually fight Fletcher.
Or do 2 matches a week.
I don't think Kenny's fit to even wrestle singles. That's probably why he's in the tag.
You're not going to see Kenny back until Full Gear.
Yeah.
And then the Samoa Joe versus Hangman Page match is just due to Hangman Page chucking the trios titles to Samoa Joe, and there's his story.
And also the fact that Samoa Joe likes to remind him that he's never beaten him.
Yeah.
Which is going to change. They should have had they really do make these weird mistakes. And the annoying thing is, though, AEW are making mistakes when AEW are actually doing well on TV. That's the shit. Yeah. That's the part that sucks. Make the mistakes when you're absolutely doing horse shit, because then you can learn. But don't make the mistakes when you're doing good TV. Come on, don't do that.
Because
don't do it WWE.
You know what I'll still stand on? The biggest mistake that AEW have made was changing how MJF can execute the contracts.
Yeah,
I don't like that. That he should be allowed to do that whenever the hell he wants, because the best thing is him just going to hell with this.
Yeah. Because now, because instead of the whole allure of, oh, will he cash this in after this match? It's almost like now he's not going to, because Tony Khan's making him do it a week in advance.
Yeah,
I think the program that
giving someone time to
I think it should be MJF cashes in at World's End, and then you do the Bobby Lashley MJF feud in the new year.
Yeah. That's the equivalent of someone winning Money in the Bank and then them saying, oh, by the way, you have to tell them when you're cashing it.
Well, to be fair, 2 of them did, but that's because they're stupid.
Yeah, but they're probably just
Yeah.
In
stealing
essence, I
ideas
agree.
off Lucha Underground, because Lucha Underground used to do that with the Gift of the Gods. You had to give notice, didn't you, to Dario Cueto to cash in your Gift of the Gods for the main title. That's probably why you got the idea from.
To be fair, Lucha Underground got the idea from TNA, who got the idea from WWE. They all got it from the same circumstance. The only difference is it wasn't Feast or Fired. It was the option C.
Yeah.
Here's your option. You win the title at Destination X, or you win, you hand in your X Division title, you get the main event at Destination X. Oh, by the way, if you lose that...
And I guess that's kind of where New Japan have got their whole G1 thing from.
And you know what company doesn't do it? Noah. Because Noah are not brain dead.
Yeah.
You win the M1, you don't get a different event. It's straight away, it's the next event. That's when you get your title shot.
Yeah.
Which is just funny. To be fair, that's why at times the Royal Rumble can be stupid, because just look at Cena. Cena ruined the Royal Rumble in 2008.
It's just cold.
He should never have got that after he went in storyline when they made him take his title match early at No Way Out. He should never have been a part of that WWE title match at WrestleMania 24.
Yeah.
It should
There's
have
12
been
matches on freaking Wrestle 12.
Well, 8 matches on the main card.
Yeah.
And
8
then 4
matches on the main
the,
card,
pre-show.
4 on the pre-show. Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
really annoys
To be
me?
fair,
You know what
I'm
really
alright
annoys
with that.
me? No women's
the
matches
FTR
on
versus
Dynamite,
Jeff.
but they always have to pull it on Collision where no one watches Collision. No one watches Collision on a Saturday night.
Yeah.
When it should be family night on Saturday night. Nobody watches
Yes.
Collision.
I don't mind when it is. I just want them to actually make more effort with it. They were doing that recently. The 3-hour special of Dynamite, it should have just been, you know what, this week there's no... They should have just done this week, by the way, there's no... Or do what WWE used to do with Sunday Night Heat before a pay-per-view. Have Collision be your pre-show.
Yeah, like Saturday nights.
Call it Collision before Full Gear or Collision before Wrestle Dream. Like, it's not hard. Now they're calling the countdown show or 0 hour for Wrestle Dream is called Tailgate. It's another tailgate brawl. They've done that for the Forbidden Door card.
I don't
Who
get why
cares about this crap?
I don't get why the Hurt Syndicate are facing the Demand in a Tornado Trios match when this feud should have ended when they did that.
Yeah.
When they did these matches in order don't make any sense.
That's why I've got a problem with the Darby Allin John Moxley.
A street fight should be the final encounter, not a Tornado Trios. A Tornado Trio should be like the second match, and then the first match should be like, I don't know, a 6-man tag, and then the Tornado Trios if you want to do it.
So I think that I Quit that should be the main event.
Don't get that.
I Quit main event. Same
Yeah, it should be, but it's not going to be. But
it's the
if it was an all lights out I Quit match, then it would have been the main event.
The thing is, well, and this is the part that really bugs me when talk about getting match order wrong. I stand by it. AEW got the wrong match with Darby Allin versus Moxley. The coffin match should be the feud ender. They should have done the I Quit last month. Because you can't go from putting someone in a coffin to an I Quit match. It doesn't make sense. I Quit then.
I'm still not even convinced that the I Quit match is the end of the feud. I feel like they're going to carry on.
I think they'll do a Texas Death match, and then that'll not be the end of it because they'll probably do a steel cage match, and then after that they'll probably do a last match, and then they'll probably do a 60
I've got a feeling they're going to want to end it at World's End.
Probably, and at that point, everyone will be like, you know what, fuck this. And I'll be the first to say it, even though I like both of them. If they have another match, I will say fuck this shit. I'll bat in the same.
And that's what he thinks of that.
Yeah, Darby and Mox should end at this pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Really. They'll probably just do another match at freaking World's End or something in a stupid other match. I don't know. What can they do?
I don't know. I don't think there's anything more you can do with that apart from just end it.
Yeah, and John Moxley needs to go on a vacation because he's not had one.
Yeah. Every time he tries to take one, they have to call him back because someone's injured or something.
Or no one's a draw.
Yeah.
Well, the Super Junior Tag League is looking alright.
Yeah. Next week is going to be a lot of fun.
Got some unique teams as well. I know they've got some makeshift teams put together, like, but
Yeah.
it is what it is.
And we will be covering that as well.
We shall.
Yeah. This has been on fire of a fucking show. Nearly 2.5 hours.
I feel like Yo should get that
think
junior
they're really
heavyweight title.
Mm.
Because he's not had one. He's not had it as a poor lad. I think it should happen at WrestleMania, Yo versus Doki or something. I don't know.
That's another thing. It's like, who gets what, and then they keep people for too long, or they waste time. Like
yeah, I'm actually interested. Is Doki gonna have 2 title matches at Wrestle Kingdom because he's a double champion?
I would like to see if he is. I'd be like, let's go for it.
Double duty. Yeah, that'd be alright actually.
Or is he gonna lose the junior title before Wrestle Kingdom first?
I think he might lose the tag title. I think he might lose the tag titles first.
Yeah, to United Empire.
I feel they yeah.
No,
or he just does. To be fair,
TDM DK or something like that. Fujitsu and Robbie Eagles will win titles, I think.
Potentially. But another thing they could do, and this would be a smart move, like what they could do is they could just Dookie could just call in a favor from someone within his faction, House of Torture. He just goes like, I don't need to. He could easily just hand off. Yeah. He could just pass it off, right?
Well, yeah, well, it would be Kanemaru because he's the only other juniors. Unless he wants to let Dick Togo wrestle, which, God forbid, no one wants to see that on Wrestle Kingdom now.
He'll probably be in the Rambo
or
something to do a Rambo.
Yeah. Like, imagine seeing Dick Togo at Wrestle Kingdom wrestling a match room.
Yeah, he'll probably be in the Rambo, won't he?
I hope not. If he is in it, I hope God forbid he just decides, you know what, fuck retirement. Jushin Thunder Liger just runs out and just drop kicks him into space.
Yeah,
and then just says, I'm done, I'm away, bye.
Is it Tiger Mask retirement this year, or is it next year, Tiger Mask?
Next year.
Next year. Speaking of
retirement, please make it make sense.
They're going to butcher AJ Styles' retirement next year.
That's what we're about to. We're going to end on this because I'll do more of a Dynamite discussion tomorrow, folks, with the Ring of Honor and TNA stuff. But like AJ Styles, according to within WWE, is they are planning a retirement tour for AJ Styles next year. Here's an idea, and it goes like this: you don't plan it for him. He plans it himself, and you stay out of it.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. The guy's one of the GOATs. Not like Cena, who's just like people claim to be a GOAT. AJ is a legitimate GOAT. Like, let him choose how his retirement run works. And if you don't like it, then he can go and do it in AEW for a year. Because I swear to God, if they have him do the worst shit on a retirement tour, I will kill them all.
El Grande Americana.
Hey, don't be disrespecting my luchador.
See if he has. I'm not even kidding. See if AJ Styles has to go up against that shower of shit. I swear to God.
You know it's gonna happen.
It's the fucking worst gimmick in wrestling, and that includes Orange
Cassidy. I don't mind it. I think it's quite comical, to be fair. They did nick my version, though.
It's so.
They did nick El Grande and Britain,
It's so shit. Like, I hate it. Every time I see it, I just want to puke. It just bores me to hell, man. It just bores me. But
And it's like there's
folks,
three, and it's like there's three more every week as well. So this.
It's a bit of entertainment,
I know,
though,
it's
isn't
like
it? Really? It's a bit of a laugh. I think it's quite funny.
It's not funny
what's
anymore.
What's that? Exactly. I don't think it's funny at all. Full stop. It's we'll get the El Grande Royale or something, and it's just they all come out like cheeseburgers.
Yeah.
That's I can see that coming. But ladies and gentlemen, tonight you were getting Dynamite. Instead, you've actually got a much better show discussion. Tomorrow we'll do a Dynamite review. We will do Ring of Honor. We'll do TNA. Saturday you're going to get the Wrestle Dream predictions, and then an episode of this. You'll get an episode of the SWA. You'll get another episode on the Sunday, because Wrestle Dream is the Sunday night. I'm pretty sure. Yes.
Yeah, and I need to still record all my episodes for next month.
Yeah. So Monday you'll get a Wrestle Dream review. So there's your next couple of days. But for 2.5 hours, we've all in more ways than one entertained you. We will rock you, but we will also say thank you to everyone that was on the show tonight. My original co-host and main co-host of the channel, Eilidh, it's good to see you. Nick, it was a pleasure to have you on. Of course, everyone in the chat, it's a pleasure. Temple and Josiah, it's always good to have my Just For You guys cohorts on. But any closing comments from you before we decide to disappear into the night?
Just thank God for a day with no wrestling on, because I'm not watching TNA at all. Because
I don't blame you. I don't even know what's on the card, so I'll probably see it when I choose to wake up.
You'll just be glad to know that you won't have to worry about Trick Williams winning a rematch.
Yeah.
What if Trick Williams wants a rematch and then next pay-per-view he wins it back just for shits and giggles?
Well, Trick Williams is getting an NXT title match, so I think that's his focus now.
I think that's his last match in NXT. He gets called up after that.
They can call him up and make him a main roster jobber, because that's all he actually is.
Yeah,
and
on Carmelo
and,
or something, I don't know.
Yeah, and on that truth bomb, it is time to end. Thank you very much for watching, and we shall see you later. Arrivederci, mi amigos.
Au revoir.
And today, our time comes to an end. This has been another exciting stream. Thank you very much for watching. And also, remember, if you get cracked over the head with a steel chair, you're not going to get concussion. You're just going to come back here. Goodbye.